Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Finally, it's Friday here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910, 99.9 HD2 and iHeartRadio app. Presented by Lerner and Rowe, voted the best personal injury law firm. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. All you have to do is go at Roc and Manuch. Out here at Right Toyota, it's Manuch. Roc will be with us shortly. Jax is in the house. Got the controls of Facebook and YouTube and Lord knows what else. But Jax, you feeling good? You getting ready for the weekend?
Oh, yeah.
The big show tomorrow. This Arizona Cardinals team. Hopefully they can make some win on Sunday. And we'll get to the Suns here in just a second. But you're good? You're all good?
Yeah, it's Feel Good Friday. It's bowl season finally in college football, which I enjoy personally. And I forgot the Cardinals actually play on Sunday. So that just tells you how much I have invested in the Cardinals because they are not good.
So with the 95 bowl games that they have, give or take, how many would you watch if it was on? Just to turn it on for background noise.
Honestly, there's some good bowl games. I would probably say maybe like 20, maybe 21, 22 are good solid ones. Miami, Ohio, UAB came out of the wire. UAB just beat Miami, Ohio, but you got UTSA versus Troy coming up. Troy won the Sun Belt. UTSA won the Conference USA. That might be a good game.
Well, I think they'll all be good games. And it just, I can't wait for my K-State Cats to take on Alabama.
Get rolled by Alabama.
Well, okay, everybody says that. All right, bring it on. Okay, well, hey, you know what? We're just happy to be there. I'm gonna go the line. Happy to be there. I'll do the old Lou Holtz thing. They're a phenomenal team. It's hard to beat them. We basically need a professional team lined up who we go beat Alabama. Whatever you want to throw at us, K-State Cats, bring it on. We welcome it, and I think we're going to surprise the world in reference to what's going to happen with that Alabama game. I'm just saying right now. I think we'll definitely surprise them. I think we will surprise college football.
Well, it's a matter of if Bryce Young plays or not, because, there's been a lot of players that have been sitting out for bowl games, obviously, to prepare for the draft. I don't know if Bryce Young will do that himself, but if Bryce Young does play, I think it'll be a better game than what people think.
Hey, today we got a good show planned for you here at 1:30. We got John Skelton, former Arizona Cardinals quarterback. He'll join us, get his thoughts on the quarterback scenario with the Arizona Cardinals. Scott Spreitzer will join us. We'll have 4 games that you can he'll handicap for us, and then Kevin Rowe of Lerner and Rowe will play a little over under where you can have a chance to win $50. So that's all going on out here with Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B out here at Right Toyota. So Richie back there spinning the tunes. Let's get it going, Rich.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, the Suns put an end to their 5-game losing streak with a 111-95 rout of the Clippers in L.A. They are up 64-37. They came out guns a-blazing, especially, one Mikal Bridges. Game high 27 points. Finally gets off the schneid, Jax.
Woo.
While Chris Paul posted 15 points and 13 assists. That was the CP3 I think we're used to seeing. Book had 14 points. Good to see him in his return. A 2-game absence after you got a little bit of that hamstring issue going on. So the 5-game skid is over. Basically, longest losing streak in nearly 3 years for this Suns team. And even though it was a very depleted LA Clippers team, I got to tell you what, guys, it's one of those things. Okay, you went out and won it, came out, got after it early and often, and good to see you get the victory because you got big boys coming in tomorrow night with New Orleans coming in.
It was good to see Devin Booker play 35 minutes too. He didn't shoot relatively best. That 1 of 9 from three-pointer. As a team, 9 of 32 from three-pointer is not really good, 28%, but a win's a win. Glad to see they're on the win column for once.
So can we get back to the parade talk, or we? Well,
I think
you
we have a
guys.
ways to go.
You and Jimmy were acting like the sky was falling.
We didn't.
It's like
we
they're going to be fine.
Rock, they will be fine, but they played the JV team last night. Okay, let's just get point of reference. The Clippers.
JV team?
Yeah, the Clippers had
It was a back-to-back. Their players weren't playing. That's a game that you win.
Okay, that's
it's good to see them win in that arena.
That's what I'm trying. That's my point. That's
was
the
a
game.
JV team.
That's a team. They're a lot of people were out. It's back-to-back. Yeah, you got to go win those games. Now,
yeah, but it wasn't a JV team.
Well, in my mind, it was the B team that they were playing last night. But that's okay.
You can make a case that the Suns are somewhat of a B team right now.
Well, and that's where we're okay, and that's what we're trying to talk to everybody about. Hey, look, okay, you got New Orleans coming up. Hopefully, DA will be back tomorrow night. Book was back last night. Campaign may or may not be out for another couple of games. But once you get everybody in sync, it was good to see CP3 moving the ball, assists, playing like the CP3 we're used to. So I call that a very good over-glorified scrimmage for CP3 to get back on track and to get him back going again as they take on this New Orleans Pelicans team tomorrow night. And then hopefully DA's back or he's not, and then they continue to have that kind of momentum or that kind of play. And it was just nice to see Mikel, mix in a few shots once in a while, and he can. So hopefully the slump's over. A little bit of a slump buster last night was good. A depleted Clippers team. Now you got a little confidence. You come back tomorrow night and hopefully beat the Pelicans. If you don't beat the Pelicans again, then they beat you 3 times in the last 10 days. Ooh. Then you might be paused for concern to compete for that Western Conference title when you get to the playoffs. And if you got to take on New Orleans, who gave the Suns everything they could handle in that opening round last year, then you got Memphis and you got on and on and on. So all we're saying, Rock, is just gets back to par, and these guys will be good, injuries and all.
I mean, do you think this is a championship team?
I don't, the way I look at it right now.
Yeah, I don't either.
But
I think it's a team that's going to go deep in the playoffs with some luck.
Yeah, but I want to see them go deep in the playoffs. I want to see them.
But I'm also
catch lightning in a bottle.
Being realistic too.
But you know what? Hey, stranger things have happened.
They got the West. It's going to be tough. But
it's strong. But if you got everybody healthy, Cam Johnson will be back by that time. Everybody should hopefully be in sync. Hey, I'd rather see these struggles now than playing. Playing 64 wins and then struggling in the playoffs. Hey, it'd be great to see a flip from last year. Just get to the playoffs, be healthy, and let's take it from there.
Hopefully they'll trade Jay Crowder by that time too.
That's a mystery.
This is ridiculous.
I don't get it.
How do you pay a guy to sit on the bench, not even show up to the arena? It's just mind-boggling that an organization would do that. Now, if it's because this organization's up for sale or, they don't want to make some moves, but it just makes no sense. I don't understand what James Jones is doing. You're sitting on this guy. I don't care if you get a second-round pick for him. Get him off your roster. Get him off your freaking roster. Or force the guy to play. Put him in there garbage time. Put him in there the last 5 minutes of last night's game when the game was already over. And throw him in there. I just come on, James Jones, get your head out of it. You know what? Because this makes no sense.
And the trade activity started yesterday. Absolutely nothing going on in the NBA.
Well, I'm sure there is.
No,
we're just not hearing it.
As of the 15th, that'll start.
Well, it only really gives you the right to know what guys that can be traded.
Right.
I mean, it's not the trade deadline.
But no, I didn't say deadline. The trade started.
Yeah,
the trade started.
It's going to last for a while.
Yeah, I didn't say deadline, so they started.
So it's going to take weeks.
Well, it may, but I'm surprised that if there was anything in the works that at least you get, if you're paying that kind of money, you get something in return that's productive that can help you win or start to build this whole situation moving forward. Here we are, Christmas right around the corner. When the real NBA starts, I think you want to have as many people as you can, unless you're looking at something about January 15th, and I doubt that that's going to happen, and hinting at Kevin Durant and all that kind of talk that was going on there forever, that anything like that's going to happen.
Or move DeAndre Ayton.
Well,
I think there's still people out there that would not mind if that happens. I mean, I think there's some diehard Suns fans that are kind of open to it. They would say, all right, hey, it depends what you're getting for them.
Depends what you're getting.
You've seen this. You know what you can get out of them.
If you got a KD, and
I don't think KD is.
I'm just saying that
because the situation with the ownership.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that can happen.
Why wouldn't it? I mean, they're just selling it. They're going to make over $3 billion. I
understand that, but it's like buying a car when you're when you're buying a house, you're going through a refi.
Okay.
You don't buy a car while you're refining your house. It messes us up your credit.
Well,
you do this, and then you're going to give him a $300 million or whatever the number is. You just don't do it now. It's just not business practice.
Matter
it's
of fact,
stupid.
well, hell, this might happen. Hell, if you got KD in a trade, that might increase the value of the Phoenix Suns. All of a sudden, they'll go, all right, we'll bid that bad boy up. Well, all I'm saying is that if it happens, I think it would depend. It would depend on what you got in return.
I think it's some wishful thinking on a lot of Suns fans.
I'm not going to bank on it because I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I don't either. That's why I don't even know why we waste our breath talking about it.
But if it happens, what do you get in return to get the whole thing? This window is closing for the Suns with CP3.
Fine. You don't let the door hit you. I have no problem if they move him today. I mean, they've shown that they can play without him.
No, what I'm saying is that the was closing on this team as a whole if they got a chance at winning it all. So James Jones might say, okay, I'm seeing this window. CP3 is on his last legs, literally. If I'm going to have the wherewithal, is it campaign or do I go get that one last piece to make a run at winning a championship? Because if they don't win it if KD doesn't come here or not, and this Suns team doesn't win the championship this year, then that window is closed. Can CP3 come back for one more year and play at this level or not?
Why?
I don't think so.
Why do you want him? Why? Seriously.
If
who wants CP3?
Well, I think right now, if campaign can go above and beyond what we're seeing from CP3, then you make that move. You trade him, or maybe he just goes off into the sunset next year. And you're paying a lot of money.
I think if there's some tread on those tires, and there's somebody that wants him, they're looking for somebody to be a captain on the floor, a team that needs him. You move him now and get what you can. I think he's replaceable.
Maybe like the Jazz. Maybe something like that.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Yeah, they maybe will use him.
If you let him go and campaign goes down and he's out, you got
Cartwright or Manuch.
You can't
think that way.
I know.
You can't think that way that someone's going to go down.
But I know James Jones is. He's going, well, we better keep CP3.
I don't know if James Jones is. Because obviously I'm not impressed what he's doing with Crowder. I'm not impressed what he's done this offseason.
But you got to remember, CP3 is the guy. He's that guy.
He's that what?
He's the guy
he missed, 7-8 games?
He did, Rock. But I'm trying to say.
Did they lose?
If let's say if you benched him at CP3, came off the bench, if you get rid of him, period, all you have left is CP3. Shammy, you don't have that stable guy.
If you get rid of CP3, you don't have CP3. But if you're going to get rid of CP3, you're going to get something in return. Is what I'm saying.
You better get somebody.
If he's still somewhat valuable to somebody like the Jazz, somebody that's looking for somebody to orchestrate that offense.
Get Colin Sexton back.
Colin Sexton. There's some guys out there. We've talked about Wall. We talked about a bunch of guys that are out there that we think that could come off the bench.
As long as you can get something in return that's going to keep them on par to vie for a Western Conference championship, and that'll be the task at hand.
Of course,
James. If he does,
you got to give up something to get something.
I get it, and I think the campaign's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, no complaints there.
He's a good job. So if you're going to get somebody in return, better be able to score and handle the ball. That's all I'm saying. If you're going to replace
that's basketball.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying
you got to be able to handle the ball. You got to score.
Leadership,
throw in rebounding,
leadership. At crunch time,
you got Devin Booker. You got your leader now.
Okay,
I'm just saying he is so expendable. CP3, he is. Why not get something for him when you can? Package him with Crowder and let's see who they can get. And they have some draft picks too. And they got do that now if they can make any moves. But again, I think. And I could be totally off base on this, but I don't think they're making moves because they're trying to sell the franchise.
Yeah, and that'd be a shame if that's the bulk history of it, that they don't vie for the championship and have that whole
if they can just get to the playoffs, go deep, it's a good season, and then you got new ownership. If it's the venture capitalist guys, they come in and they say, all right, let's have a real big offseason. Let's go after Durant. Let's go after whomever. I don't know. Hey, John Skelton's going to join us in about 15 minutes, but the playoff picture just got paid. Tell you what that's all about is the 49ers have won 7 in a row. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B live for Right Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, as I mentioned. Fox Sports 910.
Fake toss, 2 fake tosses, and then to Kittle over the middle. Touchdown, San Francisco.
You're live.
George Kittle, 28-yard touchdown pass from Brock Purdy as the playoff picture just got purdied as 7 games now that the 49ers have won as Purdy tossed 2 touchdowns and was mostly mistake-free last night. And he was calm, and he guided the San Francisco to yet another win. And it's some interesting stuff that you can see as the Purdy show continues. I mean, he delivered his first ever road win. Relying on some of the superstars that they have there and Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, as you just heard. And you look at McCaffrey, and he has answered the bell. I mean, he had 61 offensive plays is what was ran by the 49ers. 34 of them were for McCaffrey. I mean, you look at that. This team is 7-0 since they grabbed him and put him in the full-time role. His stats are amazing. He scored 7 touchdowns in 8 games since being traded to the San Francisco 49ers. He had 8 touchdowns in the previous 2 years combined when you look at that. But when you look at Purdy, his best throw of the night may have been the one that he made on a 3rd and 7 from the 49ers' own 4-yard line with the crowd going into it. And he calmly just stepped back and delivered that 11-yard dart to Jennings, who started the game in place of Deebo Samuel. He targeted him 5 times in that game. And the rest is history. And you got it. Purdy's getting all the accolades. He's getting a lot of credit because of the story. It's a great story. We all know how he's relevant now, not irrelevant. But it's the defense of this 49ers. Sure. I mean, they smothered them last night. If you look at that over the last 7 games that they've won, this team has progressively risen to number 1 in every essential defensive metric. They have absolutely killed it. It's been simple, it's been advanced, and they suffocated the Seattle offense last night. I
think they only given up 14 points in the last 6 games. That stat that popped up because they had 3 shutouts back to back to back. Look at this defense, and I think the other thing too, Rock, is what I look at is the creativity of Kyle Shanahan and being able to trust Brock Purdy at quarterback and to go through these plays. And to the point of Christian McCaffrey, CMC, you look at 108 yards rushing, 30 yards receiving, and he's healthy. But I think the way that Shanahan's using him, the certain plays, the 2 tight end packages, two tight ends wide to the right, and just the eclectic mix of the offense, and having Brock, just make a couple reads, get rid of the ball, and allow him to make plays, and the trust to finally allow plays like we saw that pump it to the left, pump it to the right. Kittle settles that touchdown we just heard coming back, and then Kittle setting that up by block, release, and then Brock to have him wide open, not aim it, just let it rip, and then you have a touchdown.
Here's the 54-yarder that he threw to Kittle. This is in the second quarter. This is all credit Amazon Prime.
Purdy, great protection, and wide open is Kittle, roaming free. Diggs can't take him down. Nobody else can, and it's a touchdown. 54 yards.
Yeah, Prime last night. Again, the 49ers, 7 straight. And Kyle Shanahan, he said after the game, this says a lot. He's been around a lot of quarterbacks in his career. Granted, he's not one of the older coaches, but he's been around as a coordinator as well as a head coach. And here he is talking about how Brock Purdy is the most poised rookie he has ever had.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely the most poised rookie I've ever had.
What I said.
He's been like that since he's gotten here. From what I hear about him in college, I think it was very similar. Just starting as a freshman, and I mean, he's been great. He was poised all week. Even him being unsure of whether he'd be able to go or not. I think that was uneasy for him because he didn't know what to expect till he got in the game. Under circumstances, we didn't have any other options or choices. We're going to see how long he could last, and we were ready to go with Josh. But he got comfortable and got better as the game went, and it was pretty unbelievable.
I would say this, right? He's one of the most. Shanahan could probably say he's one of the most poised quarterbacks he's had, whether it be rookie or he's had Matty Ice, and he's got Jimmy G, and Jimmy G I think is very poised. I think Matty Ice, Matt Ryan when he had him in Atlanta was very, very poised. But for a rookie to have this kind of acumen and poise and presence is really amazing to see. Like that touchdown pass there, Purdy dropped back. He looked to his right. His eyes went right. And then the linebacker thought it was zone. It was man coverage. He went zone. Kittle saw it, broke off. Purdy comes back to the left side, sees him wide open, gives him the ball. So I think what Brock is doing a good job of when he talks about poise is going through your progressions, dropping back, going through your progressions, and then trusting your eyes and then making the throw. And there was I think it was a 3rd and 17, where basically linebackers flew out of there. The receiver checked down. He gave it to him. Guy makes a play. Guy goes around the left side. So he's just the reason why I think he's talking about poise is because he can go through his transitions, and the moment's not any bigger than what's going on, especially when you play in Seattle. I was impressed with him in reference to the silent counts, getting the plays off, no delay of games, getting guys lined up properly. There's only one illegal setup or basic that they had out of the whole game. So that's the kind of poise as far as getting your guys out of the huddle, lining them up, and following through on the play.
So things are looking good for the 49ers. It looks as though they could end up running into Philadelphia for the Super Bowl. They're 10-4. Jimmy Garoppolo could be ready for the playoffs if they need him. But they've clinched NFC West now for the 3rd time in the past 10 years. The previous 2 times they did, it got them to the Super Bowl. I do want to note, though, going back to the defense, they have not allowed an opponent to score more than 2 touchdowns in the last 7 games.
That's amazing. I mean, that's just amazing. When you think of some of the some of the teams they've played against and the weaponry that a lot of these teams have had, it just goes to show you that team is just, and that's, hey, I believe defense in running games win championships. Yep. So much like Philadelphia, they're the same built the same way.
D'Amico Ryan's defensive coordinator going to be a head coach next year.
He could be.
It's funny how that does. When a team has success in offense or defense, all of a sudden that coordinator gets a head coaching job. But hey, tomorrow we got a triple header in the NFL. The Colts will visit the Vikings in the opener, then the battle between the Browns and the Ravens. That'll be in Cleveland, followed by the Dolphins at the Bills. Sunday, you're looking at Bengals at Bucks. And the Bengals are looking for their 6th straight win. The Giants and Commanders, they're going to clash again. If you remember last time, they ended up in a tie. That's the Sunday night game. And then those two teams are trying to get the last 2 spots in the wild card. And then the Rams and Packers are the Monday night game. Speaking of that, we'll be out in Casino, Arizona in the CAZ Sports Bar for Monday night tailgate. You can win cash just for watching football as we host multiple free cash giveaways. We have the kickoff progressive jackpot, which is over $3,300. We got squares. We got propositions. It's always a lot of fun. We encourage you to come on down. Game time just after 6 o'clock. So win cash just for watching football. The jackpot, like I mentioned, it's over $3,300. It's Rams and Packers. Doors open at 4. We're going to catch up with John Skelton here in a little bit. We're going to talk to him about the Cardinals offense, what it needs to do in the last 4 games. Also get his take as a backup quarterback himself, how hard it is to be put in a situation like Colt McCoy and Brock Purdy and some of these others that have had to kind of jump in, because there's been a lot of injuries when you look at quarterbacks over the course of this year, and you know how hard that is, and how do you stay prepared? I mean, he played many years in the NFL as a backup. I mean, you got Baker Mayfield being put in that situation. Geno Smith basically got put in that situation for a guy that was always a backup, and now Brock Purdy, and then all these injuries that are out there too.
Interesting that Kyle Shanahan said, hey, look, we had Josh Johnson ready to go. Well, Josh has been playing, 16 years? He's been on all 32 teams in the National Football League. But there's a veteran. There's a guy he was prepared. He's ready to go. And I think at this point, when you're vying for a championship or a Western Conference title, like this 49ers team is hoping to get, it's to look at that and have a guy that can at least get the playoff, that knows defenses, knows your offense, and just – I hate to say it, manages the game. Don't get us in trouble. Just run the play like we have. If it's not there, throw it away and allow our defense, in the case of the 49ers, to make the plays and get the ball back. I think those are some of the things when you get to this time of year for your backup quarterback, make sure that they're dialed in and just make sure they don't do anything stupid. That's why you have the veterans that are in there, that if you have the luxury of having that veteran to make those plays for you.
So John Skelton will join us next, get his thoughts on the quarterback situation for the Cardinals. As again, he spent some time with the Cardinals, Titans, 49ers, and Bengals. So we'll catch up with him next as we continue from Right Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910. there's a
trying to get
game.
it to him quick. Particularly front. That can be
Go to our
a real
website.
bonus down the stretch here. Trying to finish out the season strong.
Your life.
It's Coach Cliff Kingsbury earlier in the week talking about Colt McCoy, as he is now the starter for this team for the rest of the season. But how about in the future? Joining us now, John Skelton, former Cardinal quarterback. You can follow him on Twitter at John Skelton19. He joins us now on the Right Toyota guest line. How you making out today, John?
What's up, Johnny?
I'm doing good, boys. It's Friday. I'm done with work. I'm talking to you fellas. I can't complain.
Nice. We enjoy it. We appreciate your time. You've been in a situation. You've been a quarterback, and you've been thrown into the mix. And, Colt is a guy that doesn't take a lot of reps during the week, but he gets thrown in there, and he does a good job. Where do you kind of put him in this mix for the future of this Cardinals team, knowing that it could be October, November of next year that Kyle could return?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. As a backup quarterback, and Manuch, you can vouch to this too, is you're always ready. You're always preparing like you're the starter. You don't get the reps in practice, but you try to do as much mentally as you can do. And there's a reason that Colt McCoy is the last standing quarterback from the 2010 class, and that's because he is that reliable guy. He knows what he's doing. If he gets thrown in the mix, he'll be just fine. And I think he'll finish the season strong. And as for next year, maybe he's a Band-Aid, maybe he's a temporary fix until Murray's ready, or maybe they put someone else out there and just put him back in the shadows. You never know.
So looking ahead a little bit, John, once the season's over and knowing Kyler may not be back till mid-October, end of October, would you go get another experienced backup quarterback as well, knowing that if Colt goes down, I don't know if I'd trust this offense with Trace McSorley, especially – if you think that Kyler's going to miss, he could miss 4 games, he could miss 8 games. Would you go after one more experienced guy?
So in my opinion, you got the try-hard veteran guy in Colt McCoy. You know what you got in Colt McCoy. You know he's someone that's going to execute the offense. He's not going to put you behind the 8 ball. Now, if you want to go out and get maybe another veteran quarterback that still is kind of in that 4th, 5th year, that has probably a little more athletic ability than what Colt has, not to take away from anything Colt has, but maybe that guy that's not a proven entity, that's not a proven starter, not a proven backup. Because look what Geno was able to do in Seattle. He was kind of written off, but he's still that guy that's got enough experience, but still enough good years ahead of him. So maybe someone like that would be a good kind of bridge guy until Murray's fully healthy.
When you watch the Cardinals offense, and John, I said this after the Chargers game, even though they lost, I felt that was the most balanced, best play calling offense that Cliff Kingsbury had, because offensively, as far as throwing and running, they just couldn't close it out, couldn't get a first down the last 11 plays. But would you feel something like that has got to be maybe the blueprint for next year if Cliff Kingsbury's around next year?
Yeah, I think it's taken Cliff probably longer than a lot of the fan base and maybe even ownership would have liked, but he's finally coming around and starting to understand the balance of an offense, or, using the run game to set up the pass or set up a screenplay or something like that. And it takes a lot. I mean, anyone that's been around the game of football, even if you know everything there is about football, until you're in there calling the plays and realizing the situation and everything. And I think in that Chargers game, there's been a couple other games in the past that we've seen the glimpses of what Kingsbury can do as an NFL play caller. And hopefully he gets that chance again. He's got the pieces, I think, when they're all healthy, obviously, to be able to run that balanced offense and do something more effective than what's been done in the past.
It's amazing, John, you mentioned the 2010 draft class, the class that you were in, and the guys that were in that class, and Colt McCoy being one of them, and he's still playing. You played for the Cardinals. He played for the Cardinals. Sam Bradford was in that draft. He played for the Cardinals. Max Hall was in that draft. He played for the Cardinals. There were 14 guys drafted then. Tim Tebow's in that year as well. It's kind of amazing, isn't it, if you look back that Colt's still playing, knowing that you've been out of the league for a few years now, and knowing that if you got thrown in this Sunday, could you go with your health and everything? And are you in shape to play, in the NFL now?
So I was at the game on Monday night, and I'm sitting there in the stands, and there's a couple other Cardinals alumni guys there. We're all watching the game, and the fans around us started recognizing, dude, I think these guys used to play, and they're bigger guys. And someone goes, I think that's Skelton, and I'm like, yeah. So then the third play of the game, Murray goes down, and these fans around me like, Skelton, get out there, you can do it. Shoot up. And I'm like, dude, no chance. I'm 20 pounds heavier than Leia. I was like, Colt's got it. I mean, Colt. I think Colt's a year older than me. I think he played an extra year in college with the red shirt, and I was like, Colt's got it, man. We're the same draft class. He's been doing this, nonstop since 2010. I stopped in 2015. So yeah, it's a different game. Like you guys know, once you're done playing, if you're not working out like you're going to play, it goes away really quick.
So what would you like to see these last 4 games, John, with this offense? Just go air raid, hell-bent for leather. Cliff Kingsbury said, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go down guns a-blazing, airplane, whatever. Or does he be realistic and try to win these games and try to have that balance we talked about in that Chargers game?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. When you're at the end of the year, you're not really playing anything. John Lott, who was the strength coach when I was there, he's like, I know some of you guys are running out the clock just trying to get to the end of the year. He goes, when you're on a losing team, not a lot of guys come back next year. So if you're a starter, if you're a bubble guy, if you're someone like that, you're going to run through a wall the rest of the year. And I think Kingsbury is going to coach that same way. If he thinks an air raid and let's just throw it downfield because they're sleeping on us, let's do that. Or if he thinks, hey, we can win a game, 12-9 by running the offense that we'd like to run in the future, I think we're going to do that. So I would like to see all these guys, coaching staff, players, starters, backups, everyone that even gets an opportunity to just play like the rest of your NFL careers on the line, because it very easily could be.
And John, a young man I've had a chance to work with since the 9th grade, shown a lot of poise out there for the San Francisco 49ers. And I think one of the things that, talking to a lot of people, it's playing in Seattle. And you and I have talked about the noise. I was so impressed. Him just getting the playoff, no delay of games. They only had one illegal formation the entire game. But just talk about Brock and how difficult that is for a rookie quarterback, his first time playing in Seattle.
It's tough. It is a tough – I don't care if you're a rookie, if you're Mr. Irrelevant, if you're a first-round draft pick. That stadium, that environment is just so unique to the NFL. And it always seems that it's bad weather or it's cold or it's wet or it's windy. It's always going to be loud. And for a guy like Brock to go in there and just kind of handle everything, take care of business, the poise he showed, I mean, was incredible. He's one of those guys that's just so even keel no matter what's going on, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm going to be the guy that got me to this point in my career. And I got to tip my hat off to him and to you as well, Manuch. I know you work with a lot of kids here in the Valley. I was actually at the gym the other day, and a guy comes up to me and goes, hey, you used to play quarterback? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, my son's a quarterback. He's working with a Manucci guy. And I'm like, yeah. Manuch over at Tumble. He's like, oh, yeah, that guy's helping. Guy put Brock in the NFL. And he's done a lot for a lot of kids.
3 minutes.
So I tip my hat to you off as well, Manuch.
Well, I appreciate that. And I got to give a lot of credit to watching Kyle Shanahan's offense, the creativity. You're seeing a little something different with Shanahan's offense this year, whether it's Jimmy G in there or Brock in there. What are you seeing? Is it a balance, or is it creativity in lineups, or just going back to smash mouth football?
So the biggest thing, when I go back to my days of playing with the Cardinals, I mean, I got to play with Larry Fitzgerald, who's an all-time playmaker, and it was always every week, no matter what it was, no matter who the opponent was, is let's put our playmakers in the best position to be successful.
Sure.
So I think Kyle Shanahan's doing a great job. What does McCaffrey do really well? How do we get on the ball in space, different formations, different looks? How do we get Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, a guy that hasn't seen much action? How do we make him successful? And down the road, because they have playmakers on that offense, but I mean, as you can see with the Cardinals, playmakers don't mean anything unless you put them in positions to be successful. And I think that's what Shanahan's doing really well this season.
John, enjoy the weekend. Thanks for making some time for us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, fellas. You guys have a good one.
That's John Skelton. You can follow him on Twitter at John Skelton19. That was his number as an Arizona Cardinal. And he is driven by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to grow. They are hiring. Start off 2023 with a new position, a position that is full of incredible benefits, including a 401k program with a generous company match. And the fastest way to apply is online at allcitytowing.com. Just search careers. That's allcitytowing.com. You can always call the HR department directly. That phone number is 480-833-7278, 833-7278. That's All City Towing. Coming up on this day, we'll get into that. Got some news about a new sport that you can bet on, which is pretty cool. And how about more games overseas in the National Football League? It's Roc and Manuch. No Jimmy B today. We're out here at Right Toyota. It's Fox Sports 910.
A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Time for your 72 Sold on This Day report. Get our price. Higher price at 72sold.com.
So interesting, before we get into that, Russell Wilson, about 20 minutes, was ruled out for Sunday's game against the Cardinals. Earlier in the week, I got Broncos -3. Now it's -1.5. So we'll talk to Scott Spreitzer about
Point
that.
and a half. with the ruling out of Russell Wilson.
So we'll dive into that a little bit later. Brett Ripken will get the start in place of Wilson there in Denver. So Cardinals and the Broncos this weekend. But as we get into on this day, it's National Ugly Sweater Day. Happy National Ugly Sweater Day. 49 years ago today. Not a lot in sports, but 1973. The Bills running back / future double murderer and armed robber O.J. Simpson became the first NFL player to rush for more than 2,000 yards in a season. Only 7 more guys have done it since. Can you name them, Manuch?
Well, since they're right in front of me, I'll go ahead and name them.
See if you're paying attention. Go for it.
Eric
Gave
Dickerson,
you a freebie today.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, Jamal Lewis, Chris Johnson. Man, you forget about Chris Johnson. Adrian Peterson, and Derrick Henry. Of the 8, Dickerson has the most yards, 2,105. You got to remember, OJ did that with just them playing 14 games back in those days. Held 2 more games. He might have had another 200 yards, give or take. Might have been the all-time. But ED, Eric Dickerson, he was the he was tough.
Yeah,
big, strong. He hit downhill, and he was gone. One of those guys that could take it to the house.
Today's On This Day report is powered every day here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B by 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. As home sellers, you need 72 Sold more than ever to figure this world out. No one understands what's going on with interest rates all over the board, but they are going down. So there's no better way to sell your home, that is, than 72 Sold. So you're making a mistake if you go the traditional route. So they have a solution in today's market. So check it out. Go to 72sold.com. Get top market price for your home. Go to 72 Sold and get your price, a higher price, at 72sold.com. You can now bet on a new startup league, which is looking to make one of the most popular fitness activities into a popular spectator sport. It's the National Cycling League. It was announced that they got $7.5 million of seed money yesterday, and they're going to create a league, and they got the NBA in the end and some NFL and NBA, I should say, stars betting on the sport that it's going to do well. The NCL, so it's going to try to grow an audience, and you'll be able to bet it, and there'll be city-based teams. So in other words, Phoenix is going to have a team right now. There's teams will race on these closed circuit street tracks. There's one in Miami Beach, Atlanta, Denver, Washington D.C. So we'll see if we start getting more here. But I think what's interesting too here, of course, where our world is going, the men and women, they're going to race on the same courses and win equal prize money. So that woman from USA Soccer can relax a little bit, and that, hey, things are changing.
So they at least they'll separate. Get the men over
what's
here.
What's her name?
They got,
what's that girl's name? Who?
Rapinoe.
Megan Rapinoe.
Yeah,
Megan
who
Rapinoe.
thinks that she should get paid the same as the men. Well, then go play on the men's team. Why don't you try out? Why don't you go and knock on their door and say, "I'd like to try out with you men. Let's see how that works for you, Megan."
Yeah,
that's like the WNBA
go away.
thing too that came out with. I forget a couple years ago, some WNBA player was talking about how they should get paid as much as.
I hear some of this.
Well, then sell out your arena. Have advertisers want to spend money to advertise their product on your broadcast or in your arenas. I know there was a report today that the WNBA was getting ready to expand, for more teams, but they decided to kind of hold off. Did find out that Brittany Griner is going to come back next year, which I'm anxious to see. If it was, how do I say this? Damn it, I can't. I don't like my job anymore.
No, just say it, Rock.
No, I don't like my job anymore because I got to be so damn PC.
Yeah.
When I'm going to say, there are a lot of people who are going to boo her. There are a lot of people that want to boo her.
Yeah, I think that's
right.
That's you're just relaying facts.
But it won't happen in that crowd at a like I would never take my kids to a Mercury game.
Yeah.
I don't want them to see that.
There's gonna be a lot of mixed emotion for him, her versus the way. Excuse me. For her, is that a Freudian slip? I'm sorry.
Not really.
For her,
not really. But because we're not PC, I think our program director's out this week, so we're good.
Yeah, I think we
won't get fired.
There's a lot of mixed emotion with that, and I think that's Rock. Hey, politics, sports, we talk about it all the time, are going to evolve. The whole thing about getting back to the cycling is if they start incorporating both of them together, that's just not going to work, meaning if they're going to all race together. So you want to see men and the women separated. But the whole money thing, what I'm curious about, not so much the money, is some of the courses. Are they going to have like the track that you talked about, downtown courses, maybe some cross-country courses? That might be interesting to watch some of that. But
do you find yourself watching the Greg LeMans and those guys
for about 10 minutes?
The French Alps. I mean, you watch it for a little while and you wonder all these people that stand there and wait for the one cyclist to come down. You spend all day sitting there just to see that 3 seconds.
Yeah, well,
that cyclist.
Those are their professional athletes. That these cyclists, the best of the best in the world, that
they're
watching
juicing.
3 minutes.
coming
They're all
down.
juicing.
Yeah, they were there for a long time. They still may be. I don't know.
And do you care?
Yeah, but here's the thing. To that point there, I watch a lot of sports, and I'll watch.
Really?
Yeah, I'll watch this. I'll watch that. I'll watch a bit of soccer as it was on top of that.
Yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow. World Cup.
Oh, there
final.
you go. Yeah, Messi and the gang.
Jeez.
Yeah. But I think that when you watch cycling,
I'd rather watch this, Alabama, Birmingham, Miami, Ohio game, bowl game today. Jeez.
well, there'll be plenty of. I think there's like 20 bowl games
No,
today.
we're gonna dive into. There's not 20. There's 2.
There's a bunch of them
2,
this weekend.
5 tomorrow. I
There's
think.
a
We'll get
lot
into
of-
that a little bit later. Last month, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he wouldn't be surprised if the league played more than 4 games in Germany through 2025. Now it looks as though it may happen sooner than later, as the league announced that due to the renovations ahead of the 2016 World Cup, an NFL game will not be staged in Mexico City as it was supposed to be next year. So now they're going to talk about, going back to Germany. They had that first game
Yes.
with Tampa and Seattle just last month. You had 70,000 fans there. I mean, it was one of the most viewed NFL games behind the Super Bowl there in Germany. Record day of game day merchandise sales. It was the NFL's most watched international game on record
2 minutes.
in the U.S. That's big. And for us fans watching it, seeing the pitchers of beer that were being served to the fans was kick ass.
How many ounces do you think those bad boys were?
Oh, man.
30?
Minimum 32.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were big. And I will say this, the way football is growing over in Europe, I think you talk about 4 games, you talk about Munich, you talk about London, you look at Spain, you can look at Italy, same way. Because I know several guys that are former coaches here in the NFL and college that are going over there for like 3 or 4 months at a time, and they're help coaching these leagues over in Italy and over in Spain and over in Europe, and they're getting a lot of fans at these games. I mean, they're really growing. So the fandom from a lot of those players over, those foreign players getting more and more involved. And you're seeing some of the guys from overseas come here. The guy tight end from Australia, the other guys from other sports get at least a shot. It's just not the kickers.
Rugby players.
Yeah, well, rugby player. It's just not the kickers anymore. It's not the soccer players. It's actual football players.
Hey, your chance to win a backyard patio grill set customized
1
for your
minute.
backyard. You can do it right now. Just text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678, courtesy of Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. You can enter daily. Standard message and data rights apply. That's Peaks to 55678. Hour number 2, Manuch's keys to the Cardinals and the Broncos, both offense and defense. We'll also get you caught up in some of the top games from Scott Spreitzer from DocSports.com, and we'll talk about some of the bowl games this weekend. That's all next as we continue. Hour number 2 from Right Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B and Jax on Fox Sports 910.
Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
We have a wonderful Friday afternoon. Traffic is horrific. It's so bad today. It's driving all around. Just crazy. It's like, what is going on? We're snowbirds abound. Stay home.
Yeah, they're out. A lot of traffic. I tell you, the last 2 weeks
Brutal.
been very, very noticeable. Even later at night.
I thought everybody was doing Amazon.
No, they're out and about, Rock. Hey, no more COVID, no more restrictions, even though a lot of places want you to wear your mask.
Where?
Especially doctor's offices.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
Yeah, mine, I'd wear.
Hey, slow down.
Oh, those kids are running.
Kids running around in this place.
But you know what? Yeah, all the doctor's
Toyota,
offices I go to, they get the masks on, and some places optional. You know.
So we are out here at Right Toyota in Scottsdale, right on the corner, right on the price. Right Toyota, always at righttoyota.com. And we'll be here for another couple hours this hour. We'll catch up with Scott Spreitzer, kind of get into some of these picks with Russell Wilson being out and moved the line a little. We'll see where he's going with that, with Denver and the Arizona Cardinals. Our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day, what has to do with that game. What's the biggest key for the Cardinals to beat the Broncos? You may want to wait to answer this about 2:30. Because Manuch will be done at doing his keys in the game, which is coming up. But your four choices are Colt McCoy's passing, James Conner's running, Zaven Collins' defense, or Matt Prater's kicking.
Former Bronco.
Those are your four choices, and you can hit that up at on our social media platforms. Just search Roc and Manuch on Twitter; it's right there. But again, biggest keys for tonight. We'll have that for you. But we want to get into the top story of the hour right now on Roc and Manuch.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
We'll be at Casino Arizona on Monday. Packers and Rams come on out and join us. Jackpot is already over $3,300 coming to the end before we tell you what we're doing for the big game, as we have three different places to watch the game. We'll be at Talking Stick, and then we'll be in the showroom in Casino, Arizona, and then, of course, CAZ Sports Bar. So three places. Two of the three will be giving away the cash. Jackpots will be possibly over $4,000 in each one. All that money will be given away. It's going to be a lot of fun. So right now the plan is Manuch and I and Jimmy B will be at the Talking Stick Resort, heading up that. We'll get about 1,000 people there, and they're doing some new things this year where there'll be a cost to get in, food, and it's going to be like a tailgate where you walk into the area where the big banquets are, and they're going to have different types of foods, like you're at a tailgate with cornhole and just different foods. Like, you know, you can have pork over here, you can have Italian over here, you can have hot dogs and nachos and steaks and all kinds of really cool stuff. So it's really going to be a cool deal. They're really stepping it up. They just announced this week that Shaq and Snoop are going to be out there, the Shaq's Funhouse. And then at Casino, Arizona, we're going back to the showroom where it all started 22 years ago in the showroom, which, Jax, you don't know the showroom yet, but by far is what made Monday night what it is today for 22 years. By far one of the best places to watch football, hands down.
Absolutely.
You can't top it. It's so much fun. And you, Bauer, and Gross will be running the show there. So we wish you guys luck. Hopefully some people will show.
Any celebrities going to that one? Or
No. We that's we had Talking Stick Resort is the big one.
We're tapped out up there.
We are tapped out. There's some rumors of like Bo Jackson and names like that are being thrown around. Nothing's concrete. They're just rumors that may be there to kind of watch football with us. Franco Harris, I saw him. Eric Dickerson. Everybody's here. It's just a matter who wants to get paid to be up there and hang out with us.
The big dogs may be hanging out at Talking Stick Resort, but I mean, Jax, you got you and Gross.
Yeah, you and Gross.
Man, you guys are
and Bauer. Bauer's a bigger celebrity than all of us.
look
I
at
mean, he's that kid that runs around at Diamondback games, right? He's that. What do they call that
The
guy?
MC.
The MC.
Yeah, he's the MC. Exactly right. And
It's just unfortunate because there's another MC, and she's much better to look at, and she doesn't talk as much.
You couldn't get her to work the gig. Couldn't get her. She too much, too pricey. Work that gig.
I don't know who she is, but I have no idea.
But Jax, you're from a Montana receiver. I mean, look at you.
Yeah, I might get a little fan base. Who knows?
There you go. There you go. Absolutely.
I don't know. We'll see. When are you doing your rewind?
Oh, in about 53 minutes.
You looking forward to it?
Oh, we got some great stuff.
Is it good stuff?
Oh, we got some great stuff.
Wow. All right. We'll look forward to that. The big news is the Suns put an end to that 5-game losing streak as they took care of the Clippers in LA last night. 111-95. These 8:30 starts suck. Mikal Bridges, he had 27. That was a game high. Chris Paul, he had 15, but 13 assists. Devin Booker was back after a 2-game absence. He had 14. He was hurt with that hamstring injury. And you thought he came out at one point and you're like, all right, they're going to put him to bed. And then sure enough, he came back in. I'm like, whoa.
He came right back in, too.
Yeah, so that was a 5-game skid. That was their longest in 3 years, so it's been a while. They'll open a 4-game homestand tomorrow, a game that I actually would like to go to, but I'm going to win my member tomorrow.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
So you win that, you're just going to hang out the rest of the day? How about
the member, it gets up to, like really good money.
Really?
I mean, like money, like I won't have to work for a couple months.
So, oh, wow.
No, it's that big.
So you're going to celebrate that tomorrow night when you win that bet. But not
well, win, yeah.
When you win that bet.
I'm saving. I'm going to Italy next year for the Ryder Cup.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
So I'm saving for that.
Save your pennies, man. Save those ducats.
Yeah. So, but if I can win the member, I'm getting lessons every week.
Yeah. Handicap is included, right?
Yeah.
Handicaps.
Handicaps are totally included.
Good.
Yeah. So I would love to win the thing, man. I'm on a streak. I've won 3 weeks in a row. I finished runner-up 3 weeks ago, and then I finished first last 2 weeks.
Would you lose your amateur status with the amount of money you could make tomorrow, Rock?
They give you like certificates.
Oh, I see. And like credits
allegedly
for stuff in the.
Yeah, I'm really not permitted to talk about it.
Oh,
what happens at
the pro
club
shop
stays at the club.
Oh, I got you.
And everybody who's a member of the club somewhere, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, little side bets here and there. Calcutta. Yeah.
Calcutta.
A little pot over there that everybody contributes to that might be come into play. But you want to keep your amateur status, so just keep the credit.
Yeah,
take the acknowledgement.
I'm not ready to go pro. Yeah, no.
We know that, Rob.
Not even
keep
close.
You as an amateur.
Not even close. ASU hoops on Sundays. Sticking with basketball, they're back home to square off with San Diego. That's I think a 5 or 6 o'clock game, and they're riding an 8-game winning streak. They win that game. I mean, they won last week against Creighton. They'll be 11-1 if they win. And that should get them in the rankings. I don't know how that can't get them in the rankings. Jeez. 9th-ranked Arizona, they'll host 7th-ranked Tennessee. Love how Arizona's got some pretty tough teams on their schedule. Then GCU will host Pepperdine. That's tomorrow. Tonight, the Yotes, they open up a 3-game homestand in Tempe. They got the Islanders in town, then Buffalo and Montreal. They could win 2 or 3 there. Yotes had a 2-game winning streak snapped with their loss in San Jose on Tuesday. They are 7th in the Central Division. It's still so wrong that they put them in the Central Division.
I don't get it, Rock. I don't understand that. I don't get it.
Everyone, touts how Bettman, looks after this Coyote team.
Sure.
We have 9 lives.
Yeah.
We had Rick Coro yesterday. He was a big fan. Said the same thing when we interviewed him. But to put them in the Central makes absolutely no sense at all, especially the amount of travel they have to do.
Yeah, and you think about that and you go, okay, they're in the Central now. Why? We don't know. But the whole point about Bettman, he loves Phoenix. He continues to love Phoenix. But if this thing gets, let's just say the vote gets shot down and the Yotes are unable to go ahead with their arena over there in Tempe along the Tempe Town Lake.
By the way, the reason why they went to the Central is because the Kraken came in. That was why.
Okay.
But it's still you're in there with Dallas, Winnipeg, Minnesota, Colorado. Okay, Colorado, St. Louis. Whoa, Nashville. Whoa, Chicago. You need to be with Vegas and LA and Seattle and San Jose and the Anaheim Ducks. I mean, that's where they should be. And I know there's 3 Canadian teams. They should just put all the Canadian teams in one division. They can't win a Stanley Cup anyway, right? I mean, since 1993. I mean, since 1993, the Montreal Canadiens are the last NHL team from Canada. Just put them in their own division.
Put them all
There's
there.
3 in the Pacific right now.
Yeah.
All right, so get those 3. Take Winnipeg out of the Central, and then get the Canadians and the Senators and the Maple Leafs. Yeah, put them all in one.
Get Vancouver. So got the Vancouver Canucks, all the above there. That makes sense. I just wonder sometimes if Gary Bettman wanted the Yotes to do him a favor and go to the Central because of the Kraken. We get that, but it still doesn't make sense that they're in the Central. So there might have been a little favor in that adjustment to all those since he's been such in that corner for the Yotes over these many, many years.
By the way, again, if you want to go to Shaq's Funhouse, that's on Friday, February 10th. The tickets went on sale today. There was a pre-sale yesterday. I don't know what is left. This is a really, really big deal. And they have GA, they have VIP, they have VIP tables. They all can be purchased online at shacksfunhouse.com. All tickets include a 6-hour open bar, complimentary dining, culinary experience with all different types of foods. But as I mentioned, an open bar. How about that? So check it out, shacksfunhouse.com. They're also sponsoring the Talking Stick Resort pickleball championships right now out there at Bell Bank Park.
Would it be one of my all-time favorites to interview Shaq? Just sit him down for an hour and let's just open the platform up and talk. You can go the realm with him of social media, politics, basketball. Hell, the last thing he'd probably want to talk about is basketball.
Well, he's unique in many ways. He kind of has a lot of the uniqueness that got the late now unfortunately Mike Leach. When Mike didn't want to talk football, you could ask him, where's the best place to get married, and he'll go on a little tangent. Shaq would do the same thing.
Sure.
There's just a few guys out there that are just so good at that.
And Shaq just came out with this documentary on HBO Max. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I haven't.
I've not seen it.
There's like 5 episodes. I just started it. He gets like deep into like his divorce, like all that kind of stuff, like how he got into sports media, basketball, where he came from. I heard it's pretty cool. I just started it.
I would like to look at his business acumen. He's a phenomenal businessman.
So many commercials right now.
Commercials. And
this morning, I thought I saw three in one commercial break.
1 minute.
3 different commercials with him. I can't remember them. I think one was the pizza. The other was General.
The General with
the helmet. And one other one, and it was like, there was 5 commercials, and 3 of the 5 were Shaq's.
Yeah, and you think about that for some of the car dealerships, the foot powder, the golden powder. I mean, you can rattle them off. He's making a ton, plus all the business ventures he's involved in.
Hey, coming up, Manuch will break down his keys on what the Cardinals need to do against the Broncos in order to win this game. Do you want them to win? I don't think you do. You want that high draft pick, do you? Or a top 10 draft pick is going to be fine no matter what. Does it really matter?
Play it out.
Play it out?
Absolutely.
We'll get into that next right here at Right Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
would be losing to a third-string quarterback.
And now Murray to the end zone. Brown, touchdown.
Here's Connor. Still going.
Your life.
Wow. What a touchdown for James Conner. Not to be denied. And the Cardinals on top.
A little time for Manuch's clipboard report. We look at the Cardinals and Broncos. You just heard it there. Thank you to Fox Sports. You had DeAndre Hopkins with a touchdown catch, Hollywood Downtown Brown, and James Conner, who, guys, I feel are going to have to weigh prominent into this game against Denver on this Sunday. Arizona, they've lost 3 straight. 5 of the last 6 outings. He lost 27-13, home loss to Patriots on Monday Night Football. Cole McCoy, he will get the start, and as they are 4-9 going into Denver. Denver's struggling as well, too. Now 3-10 in the first season under Nathaniel Hackett and the Russell Wilson era.
He's one and done, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it is. Broncos, they're struggling too, folks. They lost 5 straight and 9 of their last 10. Russell Wilson is going to be out for this game. It looks like Brett Ripien is going to be the starter. A hell of a comeback last week, down 27-0. They come back, make a game of it, but the Chiefs beat them 34-28. And Ripien's going to be the guy going against this Arizona Cardinals team. So a couple of things I want to do, guys, is look at this offense versus this Broncos defense. Now, got a pretty stout defense. They just can't score. They're 4th in the league as far as scoring, and they're 7th in the league as far as passing defense. The game plan I want to see is the game plan by Cliff Kingsbury they had against the LA Chargers. They distributed the ball to Connors, running, catching, getting him downhill. I feel he needs to touch the ball at least 20 times, whether that's running the ball, catching the ball, and basically get downhill and make sure this team comes out physical. Come out physical. This is a good defense. Okay, they're pretty solid. But you got to set the tone. You got to come out physical. And I think for this offensive line, that's going to be key. Experience, young, whatever. You can do it. You did it against the Chargers. And those are some of the things that this offense is going to have to do. As a matter of fact, here's center Billy Price talking about what this team needs to do to execute that running game.
Just execute at a higher level. Just make sure we're maintaining and try to stay on track. I think the game, especially against the Patriots, we're handling in front. So what we need to do, and that thing's kind of got out of hand with the kind of swollen and more kind of behind. So just stay on track.
Yeah, just stay on track. Be physical. Get to the point where you wear this defense down if you can by the end of the game. I mean, the Chiefs jumped on the Broncos quickly. Like I said, 27-0 in the second period. But the Chiefs, this Denver Broncos offense, neutralized that offense. For me, quite frankly, guys, they need to target both Hopkins and Hollywood Brown. If he plays, he's questionable at this time. I'm going to say combined total of at least 16 throws. Target them a combined total of 16 throws, 8 apiece. I think those are your guys. You got 4 games left. These are your high-priced guys. These are your Mercedes that are out on that football field. You need to get those guys involved. Make sure that they are you take a couple shots down the field. I like the play-action passing, but you got to take a couple shots down the field, and I think that's what's going to be required. On top of that, Trey McBride, rookie season's over. All right, bud, this is your time. This is your time to shine, especially in the red zone. You had a couple drops in that Chargers game we talked about. Could have pretty much helped seal that game. Those are the things he's going to be relied upon and say, rookie year's behind you. Matter of fact, here's Trey McBride talking about those situations and replacing Zach Ertz.
Obviously, you're going to have some pressure, being with the ones, playing with all those guys. But now that I've been in it for a few weeks, obviously that pressure's kind of gone away. It's just football at the end of the day.
And from the offensive side, last but not least, former Denver Bronco, Matt Prater, who kicked a 64-yarder from that facility several years ago, broke the record. If you're in field goal range and you have a chance to get points and you're 60 yards plus, kick the field goal, get the points. That's how vital it is going to be for this Arizona Cardinals team to win games. And I don't want to see Cliff Kingsbury having that kind of feeling, well, we're out of the playoffs. We got 4 games left. Let's just go for it. No, This is a game you can win. It looks better for you to win in reference to what you're going to have to do driving the ball. But Matt Prater's going to play a huge part in this. Hell, from that stadium, he can still kick a 65 yards. We saw him kick 2 50-yarders. He missed both of them. He missed the one last week. He had 10 yards to spare, kicked to left. They should have kicked the other 50-yarder. So he's still got the leg. So I think it's going to be vitally important from the offensive standpoint, guys, to get points, pound the football, and use those 2 Mercedes you got out there. You're paying close to, $15, $16 million a year. Those are some of the things I look at from the offensive side. Defensive side, Brett Ripien, who's the nephew of one Mark Ripien. He's it. You got Russ Wilson's out for this game. My biggest thing is you got to get him off platform, put pressure on him, bloody his nose, and get after him. That's what you have to do. This Jerry Jeudy kid, you cannot allow him to get beat. Your kid had a hell of a game against the Chiefs last week.
Yeah, he did.
You got to keep him in front of you because otherwise he'll definitely get back to you. Matter of fact, here's Buda Baker talking about the opportunity of Arizona, what they're going to have to do with this very talented receiving core of the Denver Broncos.
We're professional football players, and although our season isn't going well, we have 4 more opportunities to put good stuff on film to get some W's.
It's interesting. You think about the last 4 games, nothing to play for. For them, it's you're veteran. They're looking at who they're going to keep, who they aren't keep. You want to make sure you put a lot of your best tape on film, especially the last 4 games. Now, Cliff Kingsbury said, was it 2 weeks ago, after the Chargers defeat, the best is yet to come. Okay. Vance Joseph, who could very well be somebody else that if things go awry these last several games, guys like Vance Joseph, he's going to have to scheme against this Denver Broncos offense, who really is struggling. Matter of fact, their best game was with Russ Wilson, the second half against the Chiefs. Rippen's in there. So I think with Rippen, you have a chance to go ahead and get a lot of sacks on him, stop their run game, and allow your offense to control this game and go out and win it. But quite frankly, guys, Rock, I think this could be a field goal game by Matt Prater to go in there and win that game. I'm going to say 27-24 Cardinals.
Yeah. I was pretty excited that Jack's that last segment, the keys. I got 3 words in. Yeah, he did. I got 3 words in that segment.
It's so tough to interrupt him when he's in his clip.
I'm on a roll, man.
3 words.
I'm
so
up on the grease board, man. I'm dialing it up, X's and O's, and here and there, whatever. And
last month, you may recall that the Cardinals fired their offensive coordinator or offensive line coach, Sean Kluger. After their game in Mexico City. Well, he has come out with a statement. I believe it was yesterday. It was his first statement since he got fired. He says he's innocent and mentions that this was a case of mistaken identity. He says, quote, respecting women is a core value for me. It's something I have instilled with my children and the players that I coach. This is via Football Scoop. The mysterious allegations by the Cardinals are untrue, and I want to clear my name. Be it a miscommunication or a mistaken identity, my family and I will cooperate fully and honestly with the NFL, Cardinals, or any other agency to get the truth in this matter and restore my reputation. There are incredible people that work in the game, from the league level to my players, fellow coaches, and incredible support staff. I just simply want to get back to doing what I love and would like my family to have peace. That was a statement that came out. The Cardinals basically will not comment on it because it's an ongoing deal. But he has spent 27 years, the last 27 years, as either a coach or an NFL assistant coach, working on that offensive line. He's been with the Cardinals with Cliff Kingsbury since he took over in 2019.
Don't you think, though, Rock, that you'd have to have proof, positive, whatever, if you're going to fire a guy and it not be a wrongful firing is what I think this is probably leading up to, that you'd have to have positive identification and proof that what he did was egregious before you sent him on a plane and sent him home. Now, the other question I have, too, if this is, in fact, true, the authorities, because you're down in Mexico, and if something like happens to you and me, you may not see us for 5 years.
Yeah, you're still there.
You know what I mean? So there's this whole thing just doesn't feel right. Did the Cardinals get to the authorities, say, look, hey, let us have him. We'll fire him. We'll send him home versus him staying here in a jail if this is true in Mexico.
So his lawyers filed a request for arbitration on Wednesday, and basically the major part of the claim was that he was fired without a full investigation.
Sure.
Or an interview. They didn't even interview him, according to this report. So he was fired without the thorough investigation and without interviewing.
So the police gave a report to the Cardinals. I'm going to speculate. Must have given the Cardinals a report that he was allegedly for groping a woman
or whatever it was.
Whatever it was. Here's the deal. Here's what's going on. And it sounds like they didn't question him one way or the other. They just looked at the authorities' information. And if the authorities had mistakenly identified him for somebody else, you would have thought that he would have had a chance to explain himself and say, I was nowhere near that place.
This lawyer goes on to say, Coach and his family have been desperate to understand from the Cardinals front office and others what rationale or evidence was used to determine him for cause.
That's it.
If this isn't true, what is going on with this Cardinals organization off the field and now even on the field? I mean, you had the health issues with Steve Keim. We know about that. Okay, that's unfortunate. Hopefully he'll get right. But this deal, and it's just there's so much going on. What a bad year of football, or what a bad year for the Cardinals organization as a whole. When you're hosting the Super Bowl in your backyard, it would have been nice to have a real good year. Maybe be like the last two Super Bowl teams that were in the Super Bowl. They were in their home field. Something that had not been done previously, and they can't even. It's embarrassing.
It is,
or maybe not embarrassing. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and if they didn't question him prior to them,
they didn't
interview him. Okay,
at least that's according to a couple of reports I have in front of me.
Everybody should have their time, and if they just reacted to what was coming to them without questioning him and getting the circumstances, and maybe they just said, "Well, we're going to fire him. We're going to put him on a plane, get him the hell out of here."
Yeah, and let's not forget, in the preseason, remember running backs coach James Saxon? He was placed on administrative leave during training camp, and later had to resign because he was charged of 2 domestic counts of domestic battery that happened from an event or an incident in May. A lot going on.
I think this is the third coach that Cliff Kingsbury, the organization, has fired. These two, but you read into that and you go, how could Sean Klugler be so egregious on the road in Mexico in another country? You know what? For his sake, if it turns out that the Cardinals jump the gun on something like this, it's going to be the National Football League will go, what did you do in order to before you fired him?
There's just been so much bad stuff this year about the Cardinals. It's just unreal. I feel like every day we see something new in the news about the Cardinals.
And with HBO and Hard Knocks, I won't watch it because I think
it's too edited.
It's way too edited. I don't watch it. I know a lot of people really love it, and you get to see the behind the scenes. I've been fortunate enough to work behind the scenes, so I know how it is. But in YouTube minutes, you played it, but I don't need to see a fluff story. It's good when I want to see the facts. Hey, coming up, we're going to go to Vegas. Our top handicapper, Scott Spreitzer. The Cardinals spread was -3. Broncos -3. Now it's 1.5. We'll see where Scott Spreitzer is going to go with that next. It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, Fox Sports 9.
Tappers. From DocSports.com and seen every week on ESPN Sunday Countdown, he's Scott Spreitzer.
You're live.
And he's here to help make sure your picks pay out with Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
That's right, DocSports.com. You can always follow him on Twitter at Scott Wins. So is it all World Cup tomorrow, Scott? Is that all we got to worry about? Or, maybe a few bowl games, maybe some NFL games, or is it just all World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, that ugly American football gets in the way, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
God forbid, Scott. God forbid.
I can promise you I'll be watching a little bit of the World Cup title game, but I won't be watching the consolation game. I can promise you that.
All right, well, let's get into we're all over the board, but the games that we're kind of looking at, Dolphins at the Bills, of course. The big talk is the weather and the Dolphins being able to play in the cold weather and possible snow and rain and all that kind of good stuff. Is the Bills still -7 in this?
Yeah, basically laying 7 here, and I like the Bills in this spot. I also think the Bills are a terrific team to tease down, use like in a 2-team teaser. You can tease, play a 6.2 team teaser with the Bills down to -1. I think maybe the Packers at -1 on Monday is not a bad play to team up with them. And basically what you do is, on a regular bet, you lay 11 to win 10. And in this instance, you lay, depending on the book, 12 or 12.50 to win 10 if you play a 2-team 6-point teaser. So I think that's not a bad play either, but I do like a -7. I mean, you remember that loss that they had way back early in the season, 21-19 at Miami, when they outgained the Dolphins 497 to 212, outgained them by almost 300 yards and lost the game. Buffalo had 31 first downs to 15 for Miami. And it was Buffalo's only loss for the first 7 games of the season. They just couldn't punch it in the end zone when they got close. But this will be Miami's 3rd straight road game, always a tough situation in the NFL. They're on a short week. And it marks the first time that Tua, as you mentioned, might have to play in sub-freezing temps. So we'll see how he does there. But it's a one-dimensional offense, Miami guys. They're 29th in rushing yards per game. They've covered just 3 of their last 10 games overall. And they haven't beaten, check out their schedule, they haven't beaten a team playing quality football at the time of their game since that Week 3 win against Buffalo, when, again, Buffalo outgained it by almost 300 yards. And so I do like a -7 here. I even like more to tease Buffalo down to 1. And, again, there's a couple of plays out there you can tease with them, including the Packers.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com, joining us here on the Right Toyota guest line. All right, the vaunted Detroit Lions at the Jets. Last time I looked, it was -1.5, the Jets. How's this going to play out, Scott? Is that about right? 1.5 is going to be down to about a pick 'em, or just look at the over-under on something like this?
It has since today flipped favorites because Mike White wasn't cleared for contact. And so we're seeing the Lions now at 1.5, total 43.5, back to Zach Wilson on the field for the Jets. And obviously it's tougher to back this team when Wilson is the starter, but it might just be one of those weeks when everyone picks up the slack for New York. Just game manage. If you're the quarterback, and the defense for the Jets is obviously good enough to win most of the games that they're playing in, including this one. They've got one of the best defenses in football. They slammed the door on the Bills last week, 4 sacks, 18 pressures on Josh Allen. And opposing quarterbacks, they don't even want to throw near the part of the field that Sauce Gardner's covering. He's been terrific. I like the Jets defense here, guys. Detroit hasn't exactly faced stout defenses in this run they're on. And I do give Jared Goff credit. He's played well after going through all he has the last couple of years since being traded away from the Rams, and good for him. But they played one decent defense over the last 6 games. That was Buffalo back on Thanksgiving, and the Lions lost that game, and they were outgained by 80 yards. I lean to the Jets here. Would have been a definite mid-level play at least if Mike White was able to start this game.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Follow him on Twitter at Scott Wins. Got a couple more games we want to get into. This happened to be my underdog pick with the Bengals and Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. -3.5 for the Bengals. Tell me where you're leaning in this one.
Yeah, I'm looking at the dog too here. I mean, I know since he's on this 9-2 run, the last 11, they had that shaky start. They're looking as well equipped as anybody right now to make a run in the AFC. It's a solid NFL traditional spot on the Buccaneers, though. And I know they're not playing well on offense, to say the least. They topped 22 points once this season. That was a couple of months ago. Jamar Chase is fine. They got a couple of bumps and bruises to other receivers, including T. Higgins, but he's expected to play. The one thing I don't like, obviously, is that Vita Vea is not going to play. If I was a fantasy football player, I would be backing Joe Mixon or starting Joe Mixon right now if he was on my roster. But I think that kind of helps keep Tampa Bay around in this one because I think Cincinnati should be able to run the football a little bit with Mixon, without Vea out there. And, of course, Jamal Dean's out too. And I think they can control the game for the most part on the ground. But, listen, I think the Bucs are going to at least hang this number and lose by no more than 3. I'm going to give Tom Brady one more chance to win a big game with Tampa Bay before he heads to Vegas or San Francisco or wherever he's going to go in the offseason and back Tampa Bay in this one.
All right, Scott, last one. Last but not least, the Cardinals at the Broncos. We find out that Russell Wilson not playing. Looks like Brett Ripien, the fine nephew of Mark Ripien, is going to be playing. Last time I looked, it was Broncos -3. So
1.5. We talked about it 3 times today, Manuch.
All right, so back down to 1.5.
You know, you can't read everything you see.
No, I know.
You talked about it for like 20 minutes.
Well, you never know. It could have
No. Help me, Scott. What do you do Monday through Friday from 1 to 4, man? Manuch needs to stick to training quarterbacks.
You know, here's the thing. Maybe it flipped in the last 20 minutes.
It flipped the other way.
Hey, maybe he knows where the sharp money is going to come
Yes, maybe he does. Maybe he does.
Hey, this Italian's got connections, okay?
All right, where's it at? Where's it at now, Scott?
It's 1.5 Denver, the total 36.5. It's a battle of Arizona's dead last scoring defense and Denver's dead last scoring offense. Listen, it looks like, you're going to get ripping out there, but I'm not sure, does it really matter? No. I mean, the offensive schemes are horrible. Wilson has had a really bad year until last week, but he was down 27-0, before you knew it, and he benefited from a late second quarter Mahomes interception. Then it just got kind of weird, and they were able to score 28 points. The second time this year that they topped 16. Arizona did cover in its only game as an underdog with McCoy as the starter at quarterback this season. I'm not sure they'll find a ton of success through the air. It's pretty good Denver defense, but I think Arizona can run the football. Mm-hmm. The Broncos are susceptible to the ground game, and you've got a really nice running back in Arizona who ought to get at least 20 carries in this one, I would be thinking, with a nice steady mix of short passing, and try some on rundown situations, throw some of those short passes. I'm going to back Arizona here, guys. I'm not a fan of Nathaniel Hackett. I thought the way he handled preseason, you bring a quarterback in Russell Wilson, who's never played in this system. You've got all these new players or all these old players who have been there too, who've not played in this new system you want to bring in. And then you don't give them a single snap in preseason football to get ready for the regular season. They've been behind the 8 ball all season long. I think the Cardinals catch them here.
What about the over-under at 36.5?
Gosh, I lean a little bit towards the under because I think the Cardinals are going to be able to run the football, which keeps that clock going.
Okay.
And because of, and then of course Denver's dead last scoring offense. I mean, I just don't like this offense at all. And I'm not a big fan of Nathaniel Hackett at all when it comes to the offensive schematics he and his coaching staff present. So I would say a lean towards the under just because I think Arizona can run the football and keep the clock moving.
Is there a bowl game this weekend that you're looking at that you may lean your customers to? Anyone that you really feel good about?
Yeah, I think Boise State's at a good spot. You got to lay some points here, but the other side, which would has not done very well in bowl games. They've lost 4 in a row against the spread, and I think the offense of Boise is going to be able to do some serious work. And then probably the next big play after this weekend would be, and that numbers dropped. I like them to win outright. Obviously, we're not getting the same point spread anymore. We're not getting that value as much as we did. But I think Arizona is going to upset Baylor later on this week. And, of course, you've got, one of the things that I look at, guys, in both of those games I've just mentioned is teams that can run the football at a 2-to-1 ratio over their opponent, mainly throughout the regular season. Those teams flourish in bowl games. Doesn't matter if they're a dog. Doesn't matter if they're a favorite. They just do well. And that's why you kind of always look at the military teams and see who they're going to play. And I just think they're catching Baylor without a lot of interest in this game. Air Force should be able to run the football up and down the field of that contest.
Scott, about a minute, just your thoughts on now that the 49ers have clinched the NFC West. How much of a difference as far as handicapping with Brock Purdy at quarterback as opposed if Jimmy G was in that situation right now? Will that have any kind of handicapping per se because he's that rookie leading the charge?
To me, it doesn't, man. I mean, he's done everything that he's been asked to do and more. I mean, listen, I know, he went to a quarterback school down there in Phoenix, right? He was
not a bad one. Not a bad one.
But the bottom line is I mean, I would think that, I mean, maybe you're not, but just surprised at how fast he's been able to jump into it without a hitch. And, part of that is who he's playing for. Part of that is who he is. But part of that is also the team that he's playing for, the coaching that he's playing for. I mean, I always go back when I look at young quarterbacks. I'll make it quick here. If David Carr doesn't go to Houston all those years ago, Derek Carr's older brother, where they had a brand new offensive line, bad coaching staff, and instead goes to Bill Belichick, we might be talking about David Carr with a couple of Super Bowl appearances. Sure. So a lot of it, obviously, with quarterbacks is unfortunate when guys go to the wrong team. I mean, listen, Purdy's doing a fantastic job. No doubt about it. Deserves all the credit in the world. He also landed in the right spot. I've just been incredibly impressed. I mean, really, for a young guy to come in mid-season in his first year, last player taken in the draft, and it's like they haven't missed a beat. Plus, he can move a little better than Jimmy G, So I know they'd love to have Jimmy G back. He's gotten him to a Super Bowl before, but I don't see that big of a difference, guys.
Good luck this weekend, Scott. Thanks for the time, as always.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Check him out. And on his Twitter page, @ScottWins. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to the only local sports gambling show in Arizona. It's called Take the Points. It's presented by Casino Arizona. It's live from the sports book in the CAZ Sports Bar, which is in Casino Arizona. Bauer's going to be put on a word count tomorrow. Just got word from the program director.
Really?
Yeah, so he's not going to be able to talk as much as you.
How many words?
I don't know exactly. I had a conversation with Gross about it this week, and that we petitioned Aaron, the program director, to see if we can get Jack Bauer, to not talk as much as Manuch does typically in a show. Mm-hmm. So Jackson, be ready. You've got to bring your A game tomorrow because you're going to have to step up and fill that void.
I'll have to prep more notes. Usually I prep
we're
just
really,
enough, but
really trying to figure out how to slow him down a little bit. Bauer, and here's the thing about Bauer. He hosts a golf show, Backspin, the golf
prior
show.
to that.
Prior to, so he's already got 2 hours. So he should be tired. That's tomorrow, 11 to 1. And I'll be right here on Fox Sports 910 right after Backspin. Actually, Backspin, the golf show, is off tomorrow. They've already started their holiday. So tomorrow, Bauer's going to want to talk. That's why we put him. Now I remember. Yeah, we had to put him on a word count because he was off for Backspin. That's what it was. Hey, coming up, our Valley Chevy's dealers random facts of the day. How much the gifts from the 12 days of Christmas cost this year. That's next. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B.
and a partridge in a pear tree.
All right, we all know how this song goes, so we're not going to play the whole damn thing. But it is appropriate today.
Come on, Scrooge. What the
for our
hell?
random
Let's
fact
go.
of the day. We do this every year. We're 12 days from Christmas,
Yes,
right?
sir.
A little less than that. So how much would the 12 days of Christmas cost? There's an annual report that estimates the cost recently came out. It's up 10.5% from last year.
Because of supply chain issues, maybe?
Could be.
All
Could be. So this bank called PNC Bank did this annual study. And do you have any idea? So let me figure this out. There's a total of 364 total gifts.
Okay.
Because when you break them down, there's 12 drummers drumming.
Turtle
right?
doves.
You got to hire them, right?
Yeah,
so let me walk you through. The 11 pipers piping, so you got to pay them. The Ted Lords leaping, okay, that's the most expensive gift on the list. Now it's based on how much it would cost to hire 10 dancers from the Philadelphia Ballet, 9 ladies dancing.
Oh man!
Based on the 9 women from a modern dance company in Philly. The strippers are way cheaper, but they didn't go down that road. 8 maids milking. That's a weird gift, but it's the cheapest on the list. The 7 swans of swimming. You would think you could rent those, but I guess not. 6 geese of laying. Don't know where you get those. The 5 golden rings, up 39% because of gold. 4 calling birds. Not sure how that flies. 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, which costs about $280. Partridge costs are the same as last year. Fertilizing prices are up, but the pear trees, they only jumped up 26%.
Okay.
So with that all being said,
partridge remained the same. You said there, huh, Rock?
Relatively.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say after it's all said and done.
You have 364 total gifts.
Man, I'm gonna after it's all said and done. It's the dancers that's throwing me for a little bit. How much do they charge these days? I'm gonna say $5,555 after it's all said and done.
How about you, Jackson and Richie next?
I'm going to say 10,000.
10,000. All right.
Wow.
Jax, what do you think the answer is?
Richie.
What did I say?
Jax.
Yeah, Richie.
$420,069.
Wow. He's close.
It's an expensive group of dancers and
up 10.5%. It's 45,523.
Wow. That's a lot.
How about this? I know our bosses here at iHeart aren't doing it. We didn't even get invited to the Christmas party
How
until
about
last
that?
night. Yeah, Jax, we got invited. Richie, you go to Christmas party tonight?
No.
Yeah, we got invited yesterday.
curmudgeon.
We got invited last night.
We finally
like
found
last
out.
minute, like 9:30 at night. It's like, oh, by the way, we're sorry, but it happened last year too. I mean, literally, it did. It happened last
It's
year.
happened
too.
last 3 years, Rock.
Is it 3 years?
Yes,
now?
yes, it's 3 years now, Rock.
It's like
3 minutes.
We're like the biggest account on the station.
What do we chop liver here for crying
I
out
know
loud?
it's we may not renew. We're going to see if another station wants us.
We're like liver pate here.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 years in a row. It's last minute. Well, it's like, hey, oh, by the way, Christmas party's tomorrow night. Can you go?
Oh, I already
Really?
have plans. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't go now.
But it's like the same email the last 2 years.
But this one came out at 9:30
Yes,
at
at
night.
night. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You got overlooked again.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
And our responses, the facetiousness oozed out of our voices.
So where I was going with this, there's a company called Rupert Lake Landscape. I don't know where they are, but they just surprised their employees with a very generous end of the year bonus.
2 minutes.
What they partnered with an investment firm and invested money over the course of the year.
Okay.
And they took the profits of that. They have 1,200 workers, and each of them got a check between $7,000 to $200,000 based on how long they worked there. They handed out $28 million. They were doing envelopes. I mean, it was a company that literally invested in the market and had success.
Wow.
$28 million and decided to give it as bonuses.
That is
how awesome would that be if it
Oh
said,
my
hey,
God.
guys, we're sorry you weren't invited to the Christmas party, but here's an envelope.
Thanks
Give me
for
that one
playing.
envelope.
Thanks for playing. We invested some
And we
money.
don't want like you get to go on with John J. Rich or go on KFYI or KIX.
Are they gonna have the white elephant gifts as well too?
We weren't invited to that.
How would we know?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Again, the third.
I mean,
year in a
partly it's our fault. We're only in studio once a week.
Yeah.
They don't even know we exist.
We should put you guys on the mailing list. Okay, we only.
Oh, is that what it said?
Yeah,
Oh, that did say that.
Yeah, it said that.
So for next year, for the New Year's resolution is to get on the on the iHeartRadio mailing list. We are streaming, right?
Oh, yes,
did
we
get
are.
that done.
Yes, we are streaming. Yeah.
Oh man! Hey, by the way, there are 745,000 miles of cable underneath the ocean that power the internet. That is your random fact today, brought to you by our good friends at Valley Chevy. How about that?
How do they do that? I mean, just
I have no
laying out
idea.
of the cable. It's amazing.
Well, you
man.
think about how you go from New Jersey to New York.
Yeah.
Underwater.
Under the tunnel, in the tunnel. It's amazing how they do that stuff.
Kevin Rose going to join us? Possibly. We got our rewind from the week from Jax. And then John Skelton. It's Roc and Manuch. No Jimmy B. Wonder if he got invited to the Christmas party.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Man.
Is it a Christmas party or is it a holiday party? It's probably a holiday party.
I don't know. It sounds like Richie's not going. So if Richie's
Well,
not going.
Richie's not going, we're not going.
That's right.
Were you invited though, Richie?
I was, but I'm too much for a curmudgeon to actually go. Free drinks be damned.
Oh, man. All right. 3 o'clock hours coming up to finish out the week.
602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Get to our weekly rewind with Jackson in just a moment. Of course, one of the top stories today, which is brought to you by the new sports book in the CAC Sports Bar, which is now open in Casino, Arizona. We'll be there Monday night for the Packers and Rams game. We talked a little bit about it earlier. We know what's going on with Steve Keim and his indefinite leave of absence. Today, we found out that former Cardinals assistant, he was a UTEP coach, Sean Kruger, filed an arbitration. Kugler, filed an arbitration with the NFL after he was mysteriously dismissed from his job, and on the same day of the filing to the Cards, Steve Keim took that leave of absence, and in his report, and what he has said is, this is from the coach, is that it was a mistaken identity in Mexico City.
A case of mistaken identity.
Yes, and we have Brett McMurphy, who is an insider, who used to be with CBS, and he's a college football insider. He actually posted what I just said with a picture of Steve Keim and Sean Kugler.
Kugler.
Yeah, sorry, I keep saying his name wrong, and I apologize. Kugler. Right next to each other. So Coach Kugler and Keim next to each other, and they do look very similar. Now, it's just a rumor, it's some speculation, but if it was mistaken identity, and maybe it was, maybe it wasn't, Steve Keim, who did what is being alleged, then we have a big-time cover-up by the Cardinals, and Michael Bidwell has a lot on his
Boy, there's
on his desk.
There's a lot to uncover there, Rock, because you're right. When you look at that photo that he posted, they are almost identical.
Yeah.
To look at each other.
Bald, big guys,
beard, all the above. So, yeah, there's some. It just was so weird how it all came down so quickly that he allegedly did the groping of the female, put him on a plane, fire him, sent him home. And my whole contention is, guys, is if you and I and Jax do that in Mexico and we get busted or popped, we're in jail that night. And then you come get him and trying to get us out of there overnight. That seemed so quick, get him in, get him out. And if it is any kind of shenanigans going on here, I would think the NFL's security would get involved.
And let me just read what the statement was that came out yesterday from Coach from Football Scoop. Respecting women is a core value for me. It's something I have instilled in my children and the players that I coach. He's been coaching for 27 years. The mysterious allegations by the Cardinals are untrue, and I want to clear my name. Be it a miscommunication or a mistaken identity, my family and I will cooperate. My computer just crashed. Close. We'll cooperate fully and honestly with the NFL, Cardinals, or any other agency to get the truth in this matter and restore my reputation. There are incredible people that work in the game, from the league level to my players, fellow coaches, and incredible support staff. I simply want to get back to doing what I love and would like my family to have peace. I mean, you think about it. His wife,
kids,
probably said, "What happened here? What happened here?"
Yes.
And he's saying, "That wasn't me.
Right.
It was miscommunication, or it was someone else.
Mistaken identity."
And maybe he's not saying who it was because he wasn't there. And I've been out at an NFL weekend where you don't see the coaches out.
No,
you see the front office out the night before,
especially the night before, as you said, Rock.
You're not going to see the coach.
No, it was just really weird how it just happened so quick. We fire him, send him home, get him out of here.
Anyway, that's one of those stories that you can kind of just let it kind of just boil.
Yeah. It's gonna, yeah. Well, if this
see what happens.
This could talk about a bad year. This could be a whole mess of ugly on the Cardinals now, even with that going on.
All right, let's get to it. Jackson's Rewind. This is his opportunity, as well as Ben and Richie, to kind of have some fun with myself, Manuch, and Jimmy B.
In case you missed this week of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, our fine rookie Jackson Groff has you covered.
This is exactly what I've been waiting for.
Jack puts it all together, the best, the worst, and in his mind, the funniest moments from this week's shows. This is Jax's Rewind, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Jax's Rewind coming to you at Right Toyota. Let's get right to it. Number one, Manuch, you learned early on, doing a sports talk show with Rock about his icks, about his pet peeves. Like, you guys hired a consultant. You know,
right.
You know what to expect from Rock. Same with you. But Jimmy B didn't know the memo about one of Rock's biggest pet peeves. Here's number one.
Tom Cagnotti. The Indians signed him to a AAA contract. He was 9-3 in Vancouver in the PCL, and he was throwing that knuckler less than a year. He ends up leading the American League in complete games, 17 the next season. Ran into him last Friday.
Yeah.
At the how you know? Yeah.
No, I'm just saying.
Why you always say that? Yeah.
Because
But I said I ran into him at Vans Friday, and you said
Yeah.
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there. But I've been advanced.
Jimmy, get used to it.
I know.
I don't understand why you guys both do that. I'm like, I'm finished. Yeah. Like, meaning like you're there.
No, because I'm glad you ran into Tom.
Jimmy's just acknowledging he heard what you said.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. You get older, say yeah. Okay, I gotta remember my grandfather.
And I even called a couple of Candiotti's games.
So I ran into him.
Yeah.
Wednesday, yeah.
Really different.
At Vans, getting some clubs redone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he does that all the time.
All the time.
I'm reading his story, and I pause, and he says, yeah. And it's like my grandfather used to do that. You know, hanging out with him, telling my grandfather a story. Yeah.
I think it's more of like a confirmation to be like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, my
number
God.
2, Manuch, you're Italian. You're a big pizza guy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you would think like the good old mean tough Italians eat their slices of pizza with their bare hands.
Yeah.
No, not Manuch. He has an alternative way of eating pizza that pisses Rock off. Here's number 2.
Pizza and applesauce.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, I could dip a cheese slice in some applesauce.
It's purely un-Italian
I like
for you to
pizza.
do that.
Especially if the pizza's so hot that you can barely. Like, Manuch, you're a tool when it comes to pizza.
You're a tool.
No, you know why? You know why? He uses a knife and fork.
When I heat it up for leftovers.
That's it's still the dumbest thing you and I have been talking about for 18 years.
I could see pizza and
No one used.
dressing. I could see that.
No, get back to your fork and knife, Manuch.
When I eat
Jimmy, wait, tell me. Let me just real
Okay.
quick.
Yeah.
This freaking just pisses me off.
I can tell.
I can tell. He won't use a knife and fork when he orders a pizza.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
From it goes to
Like
Venezia, has a
Venezia.
slice,
Yes,
right?
Okay. Yeah.
But if he takes that slice home,
Yes.
then puts it in a microwave,
Yes.
and then heats it up, then he takes out a knife and fork.
It's too
What
hot
is
to
the freaking difference?
too hot to handle.
It's so hot when you order it when you're at Venezia's, you get a slice after the show, like
Yeah.
we're there Wednesday at Debbie location. You're gonna have a slice at 4:01. You're gonna eat it right there.
Yes,
You're
sir.
gonna roll it, which is cool. You gotta have Italian in there. You know how to roll,
Yeah.
and you eat it.
that.
But if you take a slice home, you're gonna heat it up, and then you get a knife and fork out.
Well, here's the
Makes
thing.
no fucking sense.
Because I sometimes
You're not Italian, Manuch.
sometimes I overheat it when I do it. So I'm so hungry. I gotta get the knife and fork. I gotta blow on it, and then I eat the bad boy.
If it's too hot, Manuch, put it less seconds
I
in the
know.
microwave.
Instead of just hit 30 seconds, you can always put it in longer.
No, man, I like
and
it
cold
hot.
pizza's still good. Obviously, but a knife and fork. I
It
mean,
just-
yeah. And he's got a napkin on his neck.
With the bobby pin around it, you're pop that bad boy.
Remember that?
Clip.
The
Oh, yeah.
bib, the bibs
The
with your
bib,
little kid.
absolutely,
They still
yeah.
do that with the bib.
Yeah, they
with
do.
it,
Get a little checkered bib you got there.
It's like every rewind we find something more interesting about you, Manuch.
Yeah,
and
it's
you know
great.
we're back to you again with another clip. How long have you and Lori been married? Would you say?
We've been married. This will be 10 years in May.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
marriage is going well.
Yeah.
Have you guys always used different bathrooms in the same house?
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, here is Rock's reaction to hearing this. Here's clip number 3.
that one wall in the shower. Like they're putting them up there on purpose, right? I mean, why are they doing that?
I don't-
that hair.
I don't worry about it. We got 2 separate showers. Lori's
Nope.
got hers. I got mine.
What?
Yeah, I got my own bathroom and area on one side of the house. She's got the master bathroom, the shower. She's got that whole nine. Because
You're married?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
sleep in the same bed?
Oh yeah, we do. But I got my own bathroom to myself. I got my own shower. I got the
Okay,
whole
yeah.
nine.
All right,
Not to mess with.
that's another segment.
Yeah, really.
Another day.
Well, here's the segment for the other day, Manuch. Explain yourself.
This is because what we have is our master bathroom. Lori's got that.
The master bedroom is the master bedroom is the
Master bedroom.
With the
Bedroom.
bathroom is always the biggest and the best.
Yeah, it's great.
The best shower.
But I live-
you get the company shower.
I get the company shower.
Oh,
I got
geez.
plenty of room. It's got all my stuff. I lay it all out.
It's not a walk-in, right?
No, it's not a
Got
walk-in.
a little tub, so it's that little one that most houses have.
No, it's got
but in the master, you get to walk in. You can sit down, probably.
I got to tell you, the shower in my bathroom and in hers about the same. So I get
to walk in.
Yeah. So absolutely, it's a walk in. Yeah, slide
okay,
the door.
okay.
Yeah, we designed it that way, knowing that my office is right across from the bathroom shower. I walk in there, got all my stuff laid out.
The problem is, though, the advantage of sharing the bathroom with your girlfriend or your wife, is they got the good product. You know, it's like mine, like living in my house, or you go to the girlfriend's house. You know, my house, I got the cheap Suave Prel or whatever.
Yeah.
You go to you go to your girlfriend's, your wife's. You know, they got that stuff that they buy at those salons.
Yeah, they do.
That stuff's like I would never spend more than $2 for shampoo.
I got the Pantene. I got the Pantene Provine 2-for-1. Oh my god!
See, I'm the same way.
I got the Pantene Provine 2-for-1. Okay, and I got the Moose.
I get it at Costco.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, number 4, we have on former Cardinals receiver Frank Sanders every Monday, and it's always a great time. Usually Rock's the one to introduce him, but Rock was dealing with Uncle Bill at this time.
Oh, geez.
But this time, it was Jimmy B, and Frank's reaction to Jimmy B introducing him says it all. Here's number 4.
Frank Sanders, Arizona Cardinal wide receiver, is our guest. He is part of the GoPHNX.com family. You can get a lot of great Cardinal information at that website. Frank, Jimmy B and Manuch, Rock is here, but he's in a conversation, so he'll get on when he can. How are you, my brother, and how are you looking forward to tonight's game?
Jimmy B, man, you sound so much better than Rock. I'm so glad you're on today. I just can't tell you how much I love hearing your voice with the guys, man.
That son of a bitch.
He gave you that nice intro, just like he rehearsed it. Rock just says, "All right, Frank, how you doing, man? What's up?
Yeah,
what's going on,
man?" Yeah, it was so beautiful. I was like, man, Jimmy B, I love him.
So now, Rock, you know how to introduce Frank Sanders.
Yeah,
you get
I think I know how to
Jimmy
do
B.
it. Yeah, what he read is what I wrote. So that's my open that he stole.
Frank loved it. He loved it. It's just the delivery.
Is that it?
Well, we don't have enough time for the Uncle Bill story, but
the Uncle Bill story is the best one.
Oh, okay. Well, let's
got time.
Let's play the Uncle Bill.
Let's do it.
Congrats, Uncle Bill. You finally get talked about on Rock and Manuch with Jimmy B.
So Uncle Bill's my godfather. Okay,
for scaring the bejesus out of Rock. Here's the last clip. We got to play it. It's the best one.
So last segment, Frank was on, and as Frank was about to come on, the woman here, the hostess here at the CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, said she has no idea who we are, and says, "Is there a Rock or a Rocco?" And I said, "Yeah, that's me." Well, you got a phone call. And I'm like, a phone call. I've been here 22 years.
Not on your cell phone.
No one has ever called me at the casino, ever. 22 years. I mean, I wouldn't even know how to. I mean, I guess you call the main number and, hey, can you direct us to like, I didn't even know they had a phone here, right?
I didn't either.
So I go over to the phone.
I see it.
And I see the caller ID, and it's Bill Rustick, who is my godfather. Okay, and he lives in Florida. And of course, my stomach just
it
drops.
would, yeah, family.
You know, I got, mom and dad live in Charlotte, you know, and they're in their late 70s. You don't know, right? And I really started to just get ready. I was cringing.
Yeah.
And I go, first thing I said, "What's going on?" He's like, "Hey, you said to call whenever you want to talk about the Lions." He's from Detroit. Okay, went to Ohio University, Saginaw. He goes, "You said to call anytime you want to talk about the Lions." All right, they're on a roll. All right, I said, "Do you have my phone number?" Yes, he has my phone number. He goes, "Why didn't I have the phone number today? I'm watching on YouTube right now. I'm watching you online. I figured I'd call." I'm like, "Well, why don't you call the station?" Well, I didn't know the number. I go, "Here you go, 602-260-9191. He's got that. I go, "But in the future, can you call me first on my cell and not?" He goes, "I'm so sorry." I'm like, "You should be." I go, "Wait till I tell my mom and dad that you called me at the casino, had me paged so you could talk about the Detroit freaking Lions."
Oh gosh,
That's
Uncle Bill,
hilarious, Uncle Bill. He's such he's a good guy too, Rock. Easy
awesome.
on him now.
No,
easy on him.
Yeah, but I need that clip so I can send it to him. So, all right, Kevin Rose up next. 602-260-9191. If you want to challenge him in our little contest or over under contest, we'll take first person in because we're running a little late. 602-260-9191. It's Fox Sports 910.
6-time Time to challenge the defender. Attorney Kevin Rowe from Arizona's top full-service law firm, Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And Lerner and Rowe, no fees unless you win. Now, Counselor Kevin Rowe with Roc and Manuch, Fox Sports 910.
Well, Jim Blevins of Chandler is our individual that's going to challenge the counselor. If he beats the counselor, he'll win a $50 Visa gift card. That is the Lerner and Rowe opening. Speaking of the counselor, Kevin Rowe now joining us here on the Right Toyota guest side. Kevin, it's Manuch and Jax. Roc had to step aside. He said, "Hey, can you take it? I got to step aside for about a second here." So, how are we doing today, counselor?
Manuch, how are you doing? Great to hear from you, buddy.
It's good to hear.
How's your arm? Your right arm.
My arm.
Yes, you're right. See, my understanding is, I just saw. Maybe I saw it on social media. Maybe it was a bird. That you're getting some maybe like a IV. You put all that stuff in you to B12 and all that. Won't that shot affect your wave tomorrow in the parade? Are you concerned about your wave tomorrow at all?
The wave.
Because I know when I give blood or I got to get a needle or whatever, that Band-Aid stays on for a good 2 days at least because I hate needles so much.
Roc, let me help you, Roc. First of all, it's called autohemoimmune therapy. What it is, Roc, is basically IV, but with my own blood that has been pumped with O3, oxygenated, put it back in my system so I can wave even more, look even better. I don't get tired from waving tomorrow.
Well, you got to get the IV for all the waves.
So how long is that process to do that?
What's the process?
No, like how long is that IV in you? I mean, is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? 10 minutes? How's it work?
No. So it takes about 45 minutes to an hour. They take blood out of me. They oxygenate it, spin it, oxygenate it, put it right back in me.
Wow, you'll live to be like 125. They keep doing
this.
Is
there any chance I can maybe talk to that guy in between to see what I can maybe add some sedatives and put some in there, man? Just gotta get some super. Because you got to admit though, over the years, Super Row, I haven't seen him in a while. I mean, remember you used to be able to fly in your commercials, Super Row.
Yes, I do remember, and he is coming back now with some ozone oxygenated blood. And I want you to realize this: oxygen molecule is typically O2. What I said, and I said it correctly, is O3. And that's the good stuff, Roc. That makes you take off, fly all over the valley.
All right. Well, I'll have to talk to you in person to see if that can help me in some way. I don't know. But all right, let's get to it. Then I want to get this quick, and then we can talk about the parade real quick. All right, Jim and Chandler. All right, James Conner will have over under 20 total touches. That's rushing and catching on Sunday. James Conner over under 20.
So. His last 3 or 4 games, he's gone over. Obviously, for the rest of the year or prior to that, he had gone way under. Mm-hmm. So I think they're going to need him. Colt McCoy will utilize him as well as obviously the other weapons he has. They're playing a mile high. I think they're going to like the run game a little bit too. So you know what? I'm going to stick with the trend and I'm going to go over for this week.
Okay, Jim's also doing over. Okay.
All right. Question number 2, Counselor. DeAndre Hopkins will have over or under 12 targets at him on Sunday's game against the Broncos. At least over under 12 targets in Sunday's game. What do you got?
Targets. Interesting. Mm-hmm. There's only been one time he's actually had 12 receptions, but targets changes it.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I don't know if it's going to change it too much here. I'm going to say under 12.
All right. Jim is saying over. He's going to go over with that.
Oh, really? All right. Aaron Rodgers of the Packers on Monday night will have over under 3 TD passes.
He's only done 3. Yeah, he's only done 3 once this year. So, it'd be nice to see him get over. But I'm going to stick with the trend and keep it either 3 or is it over, right? Over 3?
Over under 3.
Over under 3.
Over under 3.
Yeah, so then I'll take the under. I'll say 3 and under.
I bet he does that same thing you're doing with the IV, and he's all into that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Who do you think Kevin's idol is? Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I doubt that. All right.
He needs a lot of it. Then he needs a lot of it for Monday night.
All right, last one.
All right, winner and score of the Cardinals and Broncos game. What do you got there, Counselor?
So Cardinals are away. Obviously, no Kyler. We don't know about Russ yet, correct? He's still. The odds are he's not playing.
He's out.
Doesn't really matter.
Russ is
you know?
out.
Yeah, he's out.
He's out. He's out.
So I you know what? The defense, Broncos defense, being fourth in the league, is that if I'm not mistaken,
That's
they got
right.
good D. You're going against two backup quarterbacks. I'm going to have to take the Broncos at home, and I'm going to go 24-20. And just so we're clear, I went with my brain. Not my heart. My heart is I want the Cardinals to win.
All right, Jimmy.
Yes, he's got business here.
Yes, he does.
He's got business he's got to take care of.
Jimmy Chandler saying last-second field goal by Matt Prater wins at 27-24.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. Let's get to what's going on tomorrow. It is the Verbo Fiesta Bowl presented by Lerner and Rowe. Grand Marshal is Al McCoy. How great is that? Legends made here. It's the 50th edition of the parade. The parade is free. Downtown Phoenix. And what are you guys doing on your float this year?
Well, that's always the secret, Rock.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
This is our second. This is our second year as a presenting sponsor. So we're truly excited and honored to be involved. You know, we're a lot like the Fiesta Bowl. The Fiesta Bowl wants to be known as more than just a game. And you and I have talked before on this show, talking about how Lerner & Rowe is just more than a law firm.
Yep.
Last week, I believe I told you guys that I was pretty excited to announce and proud to announce that we donated over $1.7 million last year to positively impact our community. So we're excited about that. But just being involved, it's going to be a cold one, Rock. I don't know if just your yellow jacket's going to do it.
No, I got the turtleneck going on with the jacket. Yeah, gloves. I'm all ready to go. Yeah, it's going to be cold, but it'll be nice.
It's supposed to be 46 degrees at the time of 10 a.m. when the parade starts. But
2 minutes.
It shouldn't stop anybody from going. It's a lot of fun. You got some great floats. We will have our float out there along with some music. We're adding a TV on it this year. We're going to have some of our great footballs that we are going to be handing out.
Nice.
Did you hear that, City of Phoenix?
Yes.
We will be handing those out, City of Phoenix. We'll be handing them out this year like we did last year, and it should be a lot of fun. But you got the floats, you got the bands, you got equestrian, you got so much stuff that it should be. It's awesome like last year. We're just excited to be involved.
So how do we get our TV commercial on that TV so we can just have that going in a loop while you guys are going down Central?
What commercial would that be? Would that be a Roc and Manuch commercial?
Yeah, we have a Rock. Yeah, we have one.
It's
a Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B television commercial. Yeah, we have it. Yeah,
we do have it.
If you want to forward it to me, I'll go ahead and add it on. We have a loop that goes right now for about an hour and 50 minutes. I'll add you guys right at the end of that loop.
Perfect. Well, at least we'll make the cut.
Dang.
We'll make the and then while you're in it, while you're doing it, Kev, just put it in your rotation on all the other stations you're on in the market. All right, just put it in the rotation. So it'll just just put us in there.
For the people that don't know, it's only a 2-mile stretch, and the odds of our float taking 2 hours, it won't. And I'm sorry, you probably won't be seeing the commercial we're talking about because it'll already be over.
Oh.
So, go ahead. Yes.
Just to be clear, you're going to be handing the footballs out tomorrow, right? For City of Phoenix, you know that?
Yes, handing them out. If anybody is throwing them, look at the yellow jackets.
No.
Throwing them, City of Phoenix.
Don't start blaming us yellow jackets. No. We're there. We're guard. We're the guards out there. No, we're not doing that. We'll, nope.
So you're the guards out there, but how come you guys can't even walk the entire course? Is it or the entire parade route? Is it because maybe you've had too many libations before the event?
Hey, we got John Jay and Rich are on the other line. They need us to do an interview real quick, so we got to go. Hey, buddy. Seriously, on a serious note, you guys being a part of the community like you are, $1.7 million. And being a presenting partner of the bowl, of the parade, which is 50 years, and this year being the legends made here. I mean, you guys have made a name for yourself in this community. I think it's going to be great. Al McCoy doesn't get any better than that for a Grand Marshal, And it's going to be on television as well. If you can't get down there, it'll be on Arizona's Family 3 TV, online, through the AZ Family app. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's free. That's the best part. You take the whole family, and you can wave and hopefully get a football handed to you by the Lerner and Rowe flow. So, Kev, have fun tomorrow, man. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Counselor.
Awesome. Thanks so much, you guys. Take care. Have a great weekend.
Kevin Rowe, Lerner and Rowe. Lerner Rowe gives back. Big tournament coming up in April of next year. All right, we're going to catch up with John Skelton. Get his thoughts on Colt McCoy and just the backup role of a quarterback. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Yeah, I think with the playmakers that we have in this offense, I think his understanding of where to go with it, trying to get it to him quick, particularly with some of the issues we had up front, that can be a real bonus down the stretch here. Trying to finish out the season strong.
It's Coach Cliff Kingsbury earlier in the week talking about Colt McCoy, as he is now the starter for this team for the rest of the season. But how about in the future? Joining us now, John Skelton, former Cardinal quarterback. You can follow him on Twitter at John Skelton19. He joins us now on the Right Toyota guest line. How you making out today, John?
What's up, Johnny?
I'm doing good, boys. It's Friday. I'm done with work. I'm talking to you fellas. I can't complain.
Nice. We enjoy it. We appreciate your time. You've been in a situation, you've been a quarterback, and you've been thrown into the mix. And, Colt is a guy that doesn't take a lot of reps during the week, but he gets thrown in there and he does a good job. Where do you kind of put him in this mix for the future of this Cardinals team, knowing that it could be October, November of next year that Kyle could return?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. As the backup quarterback, Manuch, you can vouch to this too, is you're always ready. You're always preparing like you're the starter. You don't get the reps in practice, but you try to do as much mentally as you can do. And there's a reason that Colt McCoy is the last standing quarterback from the 2010 class, and that's because he is that reliable guy. He knows what he's doing. If he gets thrown in the mix, he'll be just fine. And, I think he'll finish the season strong. And as for next year, maybe he's the Band-Aid. Maybe he's a temporary fix until Murray's ready, or maybe they put someone else out there and just put him back in the shadows. You never know.
So looking ahead a little bit, John, once the season's over and knowing Kyler may not be back till mid-October, end of October, would you go get another experienced backup quarterback as well, knowing that if Colt goes down, I don't know if I'd trust this offense with Trace McSorley, especially, if you think that Kyler's going to miss, he could miss 4 games, he could miss 8 games. Would you go after one more experienced guy?
So in my opinion, you got the try-hard veteran guy in Colt McCoy. You know what you got in Colt McCoy. You know he's someone that's going to execute the offense. He's not going to put you behind the 8 ball. Now, if you want to go out and get maybe another veteran quarterback that still is kind of in that 4th, 5th year, that has probably a little more athletic ability than what Colt has, not to take away from anything Colt has, but maybe that guy that's not a proven entity, that's not a proven starter, not a proven backup. Because look what Geno was able to do in Seattle. You know, he was kind of written off, but he's still that guy that's got enough experience, but still enough good years ahead of him. So maybe someone like that would be a good kind of bridge guy until Murray's fully healthy.
When you watch the Cardinals offense, and John, I said this after the Chargers game, even though they lost, I felt that was the most balanced, best play calling offense that Cliff Kingsbury had, because offensively, as far as throwing and running, they just couldn't close it out, couldn't get a first down the last 11 plays. But would you feel something like that has got to be maybe the blueprint for next year if Cliff Kingsbury's around next year?
Yeah, I think it's taken Cliff probably longer than a lot of the fan base and maybe even ownership would have liked, but he's finally coming around and starting to understand the balance of an offense, or using the run game to set up the pass or set up a screenplay or something like that. And it takes a lot. I mean, anyone that's been around the game of football, even if you know everything there is about football, until you're in there calling the plays and realizing the situation and everything. And I think in that Chargers game, there's been a couple other games in the past that we've seen the glimpses of what Kingsbury can do as an NFL play caller. And hopefully he gets that chance again. He's got the pieces, I think, when they're all healthy, obviously, to be able to run that balanced offense and do something more effective than what's been done in the past.
It's amazing, John, you mentioned the 2010 draft class, the class that you were in, and the guys that were in that class, and Colt McCoy being one of them, and he's still playing. You played for the Cardinals. He played for the Cardinals. Sam Bradford was in that draft. He played for the Cardinals. Max Hall was in that draft. He played for the Cardinals. There were 14 guys drafted then. Tim Tebow's in that year as well. It's kind of amazing, isn't it, if you look back that Colt's still playing, knowing that you've been out of the league for a few years now, and knowing that if you got thrown in this Sunday, could you go with your health and everything? And are you in shape to play, in the NFL now?
So I was at the game on Monday night, and I'm sitting there in the stands, and there's a couple other Cardinals alumni guys there. And we're all watching the game, and the fans around us started recognizing, "Dude, I think these guys used to play, and they're bigger guys." And someone goes, "I think that's Skelton," and I'm like, "Yeah." So then the third play of the game, Murray goes down, and these fans around me like, "Skelton, get out there! You can do a suit on that." And I'm like, dude, no chance. I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was like, Colt's got it. I mean, Colt. I think Colt's a year older than me. I think he played an extra year in college with the red shirt, and I was like, Colt's got it, man. We're the same draft class. He's been doing this, nonstop since 2010. I stopped in 2015. So yeah, it's a different game. Like you guys know, once you're done playing, if you're not working out like you're going to play, it goes away really quick.
So what would you like to see these last 4 games, John, with this offense? Just go air raid, hell-bent for leather. Cliff Kingsbury said, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go down guns a-blazing, airplane, whatever. Or does he be realistic and try to win these games and try to have that balance we talked about in that Chargers game?
I think it's going to be a little bit of both. When you're at the end of the year, you're not really playing anything. John Lott, who was the strength coach when I was there, he's like, I know some of you guys are running out the clock, just trying to get to the end of the year. He goes, when you're on a losing team, not a lot of guys come back next year. So if you're a starter, if you're a bubble guy, if you're someone like that, you're going to run through a wall the rest of the year. And I think Kingsbury is going to coach that same way. If he thinks an air raid and let's just throw it downfield because they're sleeping on us, let's do that. Or if he thinks, hey, we can win a game, 12-9 by running the offense that we'd like to run in the future, I think we're going to do that. So I would like to see all these guys, coaching staff, players, starters, backups, everyone that even gets an opportunity to just play like the rest of your NFL career is on the line, because it very easily could be.
And John, a young man I've had a chance to work with since the 9th grade, showed a lot of poise out there for the San Francisco 49ers. And I think one of the things that, talking to a lot of people, it's playing in Seattle. And you and I have talked about the noise. I was so impressed. Him just getting the playoff, no delay of games. They only had one illegal formation the entire game. But just talk about Brock and how difficult that is for a rookie quarterback, his first time playing in Seattle.
It's tough. It is a tough. I don't care if you're a rookie, if you're Mr. Irrelevant, if you're a first-round draft pick. That stadium, that environment is just so unique to the NFL. And it always seems that it's bad weather or it's cold or it's wet or it's windy. It's always going to be loud. And for a guy like Brock to go in there and just kind of handle everything, take care of business, the poise he showed, I mean, was incredible. He's one of those guys that's just so even keel no matter what's going on, right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm going to be the guy that got me to this point in my career. And I got to tip my hat off to him and to you as well, Manuch. I know you work with a lot of kids here in the Valley. I was actually at the gym the other day, and a guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey, you used to play quarterback?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, my son's a quarterback. He's working with a Manucci guy." And I'm like, yeah. Manuch. He's like, "Oh, yeah, that guy's helping." Guy put Brock in the NFL. And like, he's done a lot for a lot of kids here in the Valley. So I tip my hat to you off as well, Manuch.
Well, I appreciate that. And I got to give a lot of credit to watching Kyle Shanahan's offense, the creativity. You're seeing a little something different with Shanahan's offense this year, whether it's Jimmy G in there or Brock in there. What are you seeing? Is it a balance, or is it creativity in lineups, or just going back to smash mouth football?
So the biggest thing, when I go back to my days of playing with the Cardinals, I mean, I got to play with Larry Fitzgerald, who's an all-time playmaker, and it was always every week, no matter what it was, no matter who the opponent was, is let's put our playmakers in the best position to be successful.
Sure.
So I think Kyle Shanahan's doing a great job. What does McCaffrey do really well? How do we get him the ball in space, different formations, different looks? How do we get Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant in the draft, a guy that hasn't seen much action? How do we make him successful? And down the road, because they have playmakers on that offense, but I mean, as you can see with the Cardinals, playmakers don't mean anything unless you put them in positions to be successful. And I think that's what Shanahan's doing really well this season.
John, enjoy the weekend. Thanks for making some time for us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, fellas. You guys have a good one.
That's John Skelton. You can follow him on Twitter at John Skelton19. That was his number as an Arizona Cardinal. And he is driven by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to grow. They are hiring. Start off 2023 with a new position, a position that is full of incredible benefits, including a 401k program with a generous company match. And the fastest way to apply is online at allcitytowing.com. Just search careers. That's allcitytowing.com. You can always call the HR department directly. That phone number is 480-833-7278, 833-7278. That's All City Towing. Coming up, it's our Learner and Row one call. That's all. Plus, we'll tell you what's on tap with all the bowl games for our 72 sold report on what to watch. Get that honeydew list early. Get it done early because we have a lot to get into, and that's
602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I'm just going to play this different showers again from you, Manuch. Just too good.
Look at that one wall in the shower. It's like they're putting them up there on purpose, right? I mean, why are they doing that? I
don't worry about it. We got two separate showers. Lori's got hers and got mine.
What?
Yeah, I got my own bathroom and area on one side of the house. She's got the master bathroom, the shower. She's got that whole nine. Because
you're married?
Oh yeah,
You sleep in the same bed?
Oh yeah, we do. But I got my own bathroom to myself. I got my own shower. I got the whole nine.
All right, well, that's another segment.
Yeah, really.
Another day. Well, we learned on Monday of this week. Yeah. Oh, that was your learner one call of the week. Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Let's get to what's on tap tonight on the Tube.
What's on tap? Powered by 72 Soul. A look at the top sports action tonight on TV. Get our price, a higher price at 72soul.com.
All right, Islanders are here in town to face the Coyotes. That game will start at 7:30, not 7, on Bally Sports, Arizona. Bowl games tomorrow, starting bright and early around 9 o'clock. The Fenway Bowl, Cincy at Louisville. Then you got Celebration Bowl with Jackson State and NC Central. That's on at 10. Florida, Oregon State, 12:30 ESPN. Fresno State, Washington State in the LA Bowl. That'll get going around 1:30. Rice at Southern Miss. That is at 3:45. SMU, BYU in Albuquerque. That is at 5:30. And then the night game, Frisco Bowl. That's the game that Scott Spreitzer, a handicapper, is all over Boise State despite the big points. I think it's 11. North to Texas and Boise State at 7:15 ESPN. That is what's on tap, brought to you every day here on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B by America's leading home selling program, 72 Sold. And everyone knows the home sales market is getting tougher, but it's starting to change. It's time to sell because it's going to get hot when all the visitors, snowbirds are all back. January, February, March, you know it's going to get hot. You want to sell now, and let 72 Sold get you top dollar for their customers. You're making a mistake if you go the traditional route. 72 Sold has a solution for you in this home seller market. Go to 72sold.com and get your price, a higher price at 72sold.com. Manuch, I want to talk to you about this because I know you just can't wait to give the State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question today.
I'm ready. I'm just kind of sitting here waiting for you to get done pontificating over there.
I'll go. Well, first give your stats.
Okay. Our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question today. What will be the biggest key for the Cardinals to beat the Broncos? Just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. You can still vote. Will it be Colt McCoy's passing? Will it be James Conner's rushing? Will it be Zaven Collins' defense? Matt Prater's kicking. Let me go ahead and refresh this bad boy real quick.
Yes, you're learning.
Oh, yeah.
He's a quick learner, Jax.
You found that bad boy. Now they know how to basically. All right. So right now, it's a tie between James Conner's rushing.
Yeah, that's
44.4%.
They've been a tie for a while.
And then Matt Prater's kicking 44%. And then how about Colt McCoy's passing? Third at 11.1%.
Tomorrow, 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock, take the points at the CAZ Sports Bar. We'll be back out there on Monday from 1 to 4 for Rams Packers. I'll be hosting Monday night, so hopefully you can come out and join me. And Jax will host the festivities. Jackpot's over $3,300 and giving that hopefully away. I know I got a lot of Packer fans that are coming out, so it should be a good night. Hopefully you come out and join us tomorrow or Monday, or you come out tomorrow and see the guys out at the casino. I heard they got some quarterback whisperer coming on.
He's like the hottest quarterback right now. We got the guy.
You got the guy that coaches the hottest quarterback in the National Football League.
Yeah,
that's won a couple games in a row.
We had to talk to some people to get him scheduled.
Did you have to go through his agent?
Had to go through his agent.
Is he charging you to go on?
No, thank God. No.
You probably got to buy him a drink or something to eat.
Not yet. Not yet. It will.
Looking forward. We're going to lose Manuch soon.
12:15, right?
Oh, yeah. 12:15 will be on.
Could you tell Bauer to keep
tell Bauer to just cut down, not talk so much.
Let me
just refer to me more.
Yeah. Just say Jax.
Yeah,
or
Jax.
Gross.
Hey, Grosser.
Just say, hey, Bauer, go get something to eat.
Yeah, just sit this one. We love
Richie,
you,
great job this week. Thanks for filling in. Appreciate it. For Jax, for Manuch, I'm Roc. Have a great week. And for Jimmy B. We'll be back.